Oh, g'day friends. Welcome. Welcome to tonight's stream, where we figure out what we're going to do about this model, which I actually very much dislike. I was thinking let's go crazy on non-metallic metal of some description, and so further to that point I just grabbed a whole lot of colours on my palette and I thought let's just get stuck in and see how we go. We will literally make it up as we go along. Hope you've all had a good week so far. It's a Wednesday evening here and I've just finished my Wednesday work and I am looking forward to the weekend. The first week back from holidays is always a fucking very challenging week. Nice. Little toy soldier commissions or jewellery making commissions? Cool. Cheese Dupree, what's happening there, Ben Hameen? Yeah, doing fine, champion, thank you. Just trying to establish the non-metallic metal reflections on this chap. Try and have a couple of different colours of reflections. So that's the greenish colour, and then I want to have a more bluish tinged colour. So we're sort of capturing a little bit of the sky earth, differences between the two. Shadow Uvrate, what's happening, mate? I didn't know you had two cats, Ben. Did you get a second one? be interesting if I can figure out how to do it. The only exciting news I have to share since Party Monday, 2 elements of exciting news. The first being, we played a game of Eclipse last night. It was glorious. And the second being, I've only got 2 episodes of Arcane left to go. And it's awesome. Handy. Oh, little Hugo. He's going really well. Well, yeah, he is going really well, but he's just a nervous little dude, and he doesn't love living in an apartment block with other big dogs, especially when those other big dogs get in the elevator with him. He gets a bit anxious. So, poor girlfriend gets stressed out when he's like barking his head off because other dogs are coming in, and most people are really cool about it. But yeah, little dude's just having a rough time when he sees other doggos. That's all. But aside from that, he's fucking legend. Like, he's so funny. Such a little personality. Yeah. We're halfway, almost finished season 2. Have you watched it? Oh yeah. Whew. It's very good. It's very, very good. I'm not prepared to say it's the best sci-fi show I've ever watched yet, because I'm only at season 2, halfway through season 2. But if it's not the best, it's definitely in the conversation, and that's just after the 2 seasons that I watched. So. Like, what the fuck are all these little fucking doodads and shit that this guy's got? Fuck me. Fucking stupid model. Set in the future. Pretty good. Now there's it is set in the future when humans have almost colonised Mars, and Mars has declared itself as an independent republic, and neither Earth nor Mars has enough water. And so they mine ice clusters off the belt of Saturn, off the ring of Saturn, which is just giant ice rocks, and that gets turned into water, which is used to supply Earth and Mars with water. And so, but then the people that live on the belt are very poor. They're like second-class citizens. It's amazing. Yeah, very good. G'day Bucks. G'day Nicky Jags. Yeah, what an interesting time we've had, hey? What a very interesting time. And so it's like a political drama about the politics between the nations, but it actually ends up being very character driven, and just good stuff. Would recommend. 10 out of 10, would bang. This guy's got a mustache on his gauntlets. yeah, Space Game of Thrones is pretty good. Pretty good analysis. Certainly, this first season and a half that I've watched has been like that, but it looks as if it's about to turn into an all-out war of some description. So, shan't spoil anything. No, it's still the same as when we discussed it on Monday Night Bucks. No real changes, mate. It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Alright, I might try something a little bit different. I think my diorama page is still up. So if you have a look at that chick who looks like she's jumping off into nothingness in the top left, she's jumping off to stab this guy in the face. It is a lot of non-metallic metal bucks, so I am planning on speeding that up a bit. It is big and stupid. Let's see if we can speed this up a little. Rumble, rumble, take your face off, rumble, rumble. Alright, we'll put you away for a little bit, airbrush. We'll come back. So yeah, normally I wouldn't try to do any refining or anything like that with the airbrush until I've got a little bit more done, but yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of bouncing on this, I think. Bounce back and forth. Hey Bucks, just watched episode 7 of Arcane. I was up to episode 7. So Jinx and Echo just had a fight on the bridge to end the episode. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I didn't like his character at the start of the show, but he's grown into a great little man, hasn't he? What a champion. But I can't get over how good Jinx's character is. Like, she's just fucking awesome. Every time she's on screen, I'm just like... Well, I don't know if you're into League or not. I'm not. I've never played it. Never even considered playing it. But I've been watching Arcane, and man, you would love it. You would absolutely fucking love it, Benny. The art is ridiculous. It is just a feast for the eyes. Yeah. Well, you don't need to have played the game or anything to watch the show. It's on Netflix, Arcane. Okay, let's go. All I'm doing at the moment is just trying to get a sense of where I want the highlights and the reflections and so forth to be. We can tweak this. Yeah, I think they gave the green light to a second season, which is cool. Bucks will probably be able to confirm that for me. He's a nuffy for it, so yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Who is Silko's voice actor, actually? His voice sounds familiar. Okay. Would I know him from anything else? Yeah. Yeah, the voice actor who does Jace is from Arrow. The voice actor who does Victor is Viserys from Game of Thrones, but I also recognised him from... He was in a very, very, very cool show that I loved called Robin Hood, which was a BBC show. He played... did he play? He was like Will Scarlet or something. In the BBC version of Robin Hood. G'day, Basil Q. And then of course it's got Cho Chang with Caitlin. Haley Steinfeld and Vi. G'day Xtab, what's happening mate? Which show are you thinking of? I'm talking about the BBC version of Robin Hood. And I'm just remembering Harry Lloyd was in that. Are you thinking of the Robin Hood with, what's her name? Russell Crowe? Huh. I'm sure Harry Lloyd was in it as someone. I feel like you and I may be talking about different Robin Hoods. Yeah, the birds are lovely. Doors open so I can hear the birds. And as you know, the hockey fields are just over the back as well, so later on we may get to hear some hockey whistles. Well, yeah, no, I mean, I've planned so I probably planned this a little bit better than I planned Camelot, from the perspective that I had a much clearer vision of how the models would sit against each other on the diorama, because I actually used the models and the scale of the models and their placement on the diorama. So like I had that vision in my head of like, cool, this guy's this big, and I have him facing off against this chick, and so on and so forth. Colour wise, all made up. I went into the Romans with a colour palette of red, and that was it. And I've gone into the colour palette of these guys as blue, green, teal. So take from that what you will. Hey Bundog, what's going on? You finished off your glorious Wind Rider. Nice. Alright, let's try some of this one. Take your face off. Oh, what am I singing, Bunny? Oh. Well, there's a little boy waiting at the counter of a corner shop. He's been waiting down there, waiting half the day. His dreams walk in and out, they never stop. He's been pushed around, knocked to the ground. He gets to his feet and he says, what about me? It isn't fair. I've had enough, now I want my share. Can't you see, I wanna live. But you just take more than you give. What about Bunny? What about Bunny? Thank you. There's a little girl waiting at the counter of a corner shop. No, they're ordinary. Thank you. We give it a crack though, don't we? We just get stuck in, have a go. Oh, thank you, Xtab. Probably when I reflected on it afterwards, what I felt like was there was a lot of dead space that I could have utilised more effectively, and that came because I built the scenery before I had the figures. Someone could be accusatory of that, yes. Nobody's changed, nobody's been saved, and I'm feeling cold and alone. I'll have to switch to a smaller brush in a second. I guess I'm lucky, I smile and laugh. Sometimes I wish for more. When I'm gone, what about me? Fair. I've had enough now, I want my share. Can't you see? I wanna live. You just take more. You just take more than you give. What about Bunny's mum? Thank you. My singing capabilities. It is Cheese Dupree, one of the world's best. People are still talking about the Legion army that he painted. Yeah, I mean, I think the one of the most powerful ways of using the airbrush in Hameen is the ability you have to diffuse rough highlights. Okay, let's go. No, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to learn at the feet of the great master himself, so hopefully we can get him out on the show sometime. And yeah, really dive deep into the knowledge banks. Yeah, I think to get past that stage, you just need to accept that you're going to fuck it, and then work out how you're going to fix the fuck up. So this model is a big old hunk of metal, and to be able to do this to a standard that is acceptable for my diorama versus doing this to a standard that is all the very maximum level I can paint is the goal we've got to set. We've got to find a happy medium where it looks awesome, but it doesn't take me 8 months to paint. Well, which one was that where I just drew the lines on here, that bit? Bunny, yes, yes. So Bunny's in a group, same as me, called Team Stonebeard. We're a very exclusive membership only group of extremely talented, good looking, talented, really talented people. And yeah, she's working on an absolute fucking banger of a project at the moment for our Team Stonebeard challenge, the Moon. Katsuru Otoko. It's going to be awesome. The control of the airbrush skill set is one you have to learn through fucking up. There's no easy way to do it, because you're not able to get, like, there's no tactile response when you use a brush. You know, you can, even if it's only very minor, you still have that tactile feeling of the brush hitting the model and the feedback you get from that. Whereas with the airbrush, there is no feedback. You're just pulling the trigger and watching what happens. So that learning how that feels and being able to know how to use it is all practice. There's no shortcuts, unfortunately. I didn't nick a Jaguar. That sounds very, very cool. I love people who are absolutely bonkers. I think that's great. It's like that guy who's married to the Eiffel Tower. Like, what a fucking legend. Yeah, did you hear about that dude? He decided that he fell in love with the Eiffel Tower and he got married to it. He had to get permission from the French government. Just claim that he loved the Eiffel Tower. Just my guy. Well, you'd have to get the Eiffel Tower to sign the divorce papers, which would be a challenge, given that the Eiffel Tower is an inanimate object. But hey, you do you, friend. You do you. Classic. Yeah, the world's full of wonderful people, friends. I'm not one of them. Yeah, reasonably happy with that so far. So let's go into, I won't airbrush that stage. Let's go into some grey. Should we, yeah, I think we might switch to a smaller brush. Slightly smaller. Alright, so I think I talked about this in my painting gold masterclass on my stream the other night. The placement of the lights, the placement of the highlights is what sells the illusion of it being metal. With gold, it's usually a little bit easier because you don't tend to have a lot of environmental reflections in the gold. Steel, on the other hand, is a disaster because it's the opposite. You do tend to have a lot of reflections in steel. And so the way that I try and simulate that is by these sorts of lines and leaving some pretty aggressive shadows. Thank you. Yes, and contrast, indeed, Nicky Jaguar. Well spotted. The contrast master. Do I still have Poku? I am afraid that Poku has gone to another lovely person on this podcast, which is the person whose windrider you were impressed with. Yeah, Kirill's FAQ was the book. And yeah, look, it's a fantastic book, and when you reach a certain level, I think you should definitely own it. And Ben, you're obviously in the position where you could write that book, so no need for you to buy it. But it really does break your brain thinking about how deep you can go into the surfaces reflecting and blah 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 blah. It's like crazy. So Draxy, what a legend you are, Drax. Oh, good, yeah, that's good stuff, mate. Yeah, second edition would be good. Thank you, Drax. Hey mate, I haven't seen you this year. Happy New Year. Even though we're in Feb. Yeah, have been doing this for a year. Which is crazy when you think about it, because it feels like just yesterday that I decided to turn the stream on. Now I've got people paying points to make me sing. And I have mad regrets. Crypt Shadow, I can answer that very simply, mate. I live in Australia, and in Australia, the national footwear is thongs. Thanks, Bunny. We call thongs thongs, but other people call them what do they call them? Flip flops, jandals, pluggers. It's the national footwear. Now, I'll tell you truthfully, I'll tell you this truthfully, mate. I wear full safety boots and protective equipment for work, and so when I'm not at work, if there's any opportunity for me to not wear anything other than shorts and thongs, yeah, I did have thongs in the room, but I wasn't wearing them at the time. I'd walked up to the room with the thongs on, and then I'd just taken those bad boys off. Yeah, magnificent, hey? What an absolute specimen. Bunny told me I made a mistake. She said I shouldn't be giving that shit away for free. How's your stream, Drax? What have you been painting? Cool. Sick of doing commissions yet? We had a really cool Tyranid Diorama pop through the other night from very nice lady. Her name is Tavanya. Should follow her on Instagram. It's a really nice diorama. Had a nice chat to her. Her name's Simone. What a wonderful human being. Mate, we're a bit tougher in Australia. If something jams into your foot, you just pick yourself up and move along. Alright? So, I don't know what to tell you. Correct? You can flip them off at any time and just really get some of the positive charge from nature and earth just driving through your body. G'day, all might, all for one. So hopefully we'll be able to do some more airbrushing soon and make this actually look good, but it's going to have to put up with a lot of brush work until we get to that point, friends. Yep. Yeah. Huntsmans can be found just about all over the place. We have a spider that likes living under your toilet seat, which is great. Just is what it is, mate. No use crying about it, just get in there. Have a go. Oh, the enemy. I don't know what other people do, mate, but if you do that here, that's a recipe for disaster. So when I was a little fella, we used to have a shed in the backyard. It was my dad's shed. And I told him, Dad, can I use your shed for my toy soldiers? I was probably like 12 or 13 or something. And I thought it was the best idea. So I set up the shed. I had a whole room effectively with like tables and stuff. It was workbenches, but I had all my shit set up and I was just building terrain out there. And I was like, this is the best for my Necromunda terrain. How good's this? But Dad said before I can do that, I had to clean all the spiders out. So I had to pull redback spiders down and fucking, it's just like, that was just a pretty normal activity. I didn't really think twice about it. It's just a thing that happens, friends. Yeah, just get it done. On you, Franco. Thanks, mate. Alright, so when we do this step, we should start to see the metal actually begin to look a little bit more like metal. So I'm using Iron Hue from Chimera, which is the Michael Pizarski mix, which is a nice grey. And then I've mixed in a little bit of Light Flesh, which is a pinkish colour, and it's the first time I've done that, which is a Vallejo pinkish colour, but I thought I'd try it. See, mate, what are you playing tonight? You know, whoop out Chaos in the Old World? Or is it just 40k games? It's probably just 40k games. Oh, awesome. Well, enjoy, mate. You're right, the drop airs are ferocious. That's the only thing that really scares me. Yeah, that sounds like something that could happen. I don't, literally do not even think about it, honestly. That might sound blasé, but you just get used to it. Certainly I do anyway. Yeah. Got to impress the ladies, eh? Alright. We'll be able to do some airbrushing soon, I think. Which should help. Thanks, mate. No, I don't generally use background music because I provide the background music, mate. I'll do the singing, all dancing, extravaganza. No, maybe. We might add some music. Who knows? I don't really have as many interesting stories. Well, that's because you've got to pay points for it, mate. Got to pay points for the tunes. To hear the pipes. Actually, I haven't spoken to Bucks for a while. Let's get Bucks on the chats. Are you out and about, Bucks? You are. Of course you are. G'day, bloke. What are you doing?
Well, I was just eating dinner. Let me just... Yeah.
You keep chomping away, mate, while I'm sitting here painting this.
I was making myself laugh. I was like, we're the Dudley boys of the painting world, mate. I feel like at this... I feel exactly like I know exactly when it's... get the airbrush moment, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's looking good so far.
Yeah? I'm alright with it so far, which is...
Yeah, placements are really nice. I think that, yeah, I mean, you gave this guy a bit of a...
I hate the model. I hate the model. And you know what, I think I said this to you, I said, I hate it, so no doubt it's going to turn out to be one of my favourite fucking paint jobs that I do.
Yeah, 100%.
Wankers, eh? Which D&D set? Crypt Shadow? I haven't done a D&D set. I've done a couple of dioramas. G'day, Tanathlus. Oh yes, no, I did finish that, yes. Yeah, finished that about 2 weeks after I started it. Which was about March last year.
It was a little while ago.
It was
there's been a few dioramas in between then and now, but yeah. That was definitely done.
Yeah, it's certainly been a while since that one. But yeah, if you go and have a look on probably Putty and Paint's the best place to see that. It's on there somewhere.
Oh. So what else is the news, mate? What's been good?
Oh, Arcane's been good, hasn't it? Whew.
It's been very good. I can't wait for you to finish the last 2 episodes. There's a lot to discuss after the last 2 episodes.
Good.
There's a particular character that I'm interested to see what you think. But we can't say any more, chat, because he'll fucking read into any little movement. If I slightly veer left, he will immediately pick up on something. So
I'm pretty observant like that, aren't I? You can't fucking say
observant or annoying.
Yeah.
Like
both.
Either.
Same thing, mate. Both.
Yeah. And you're only still halfway through the second season of Expanse.
Yes. I haven't touched any more Expanse. Keen to. Yeah, I am like a fucking detective, mate. Like I'm just constantly chasing down
probing for any any side.
Anything at all, I'll just fucking latch on. Are we talking about Arcane, which is it's a Netflix show? And it's an animated show, which, as you know, I'm not really partial to in general, but it's just magnificently well done, and I will wholeheartedly recommend it to any human being that I speak to because of how impressed I was. G'day, Redarose Dalek 666. Beep boop.
It's I think like to have a slight dive into Arcane without going too fanboyish. One thing they do really, really well, and it's something that you sort of highlighted in the latest episode that you've seen or watched, the fight between Echo and Jinx on the bridge. So naturally, they're constantly weaving components of the game into the story.
Yeah, of course. Right? Yeah, which I'm not picking up on any of that stuff, right? So
that's really well done, right? That's where I'm leaning into. The fact that it doesn't feel like it's been shoehorned in, is something that I was exceptionally pleased with. And particularly the scene that you talked about, as that's paying a bit of homage to Echo's ultimate ability in the game.
So I did do a little bit of reading about some of the characters because I was so keen on the show. I was like, I need to know what these people do. So Echo is a time dude in the game, isn't he?
He is. He winds back time. He's a kid that figured out a contraption that allows him to undo his mistakes.
Yeah. which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool.
100%
It was
awesome.
cool how that scene, like, because I knew that when I watched this. I literally watched it like an hour ago. I was like, oh, he's got the clock thing that he uses in the game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he had, I think they highlighted the stopwatch being like just a key component of what's
Yeah.
going on there. So yeah,
And I wasn't sure if it was supposed to mean like he played out the scene in his mind, and or if he actually did it and then he rewound it. I wasn't sure if they were trying to go for that, but
I think they're leaving it sort of open to interpretation.
Yeah.
But I think that it might be just letting you know that that's where he's working towards potentially.
Cool.
You know, like he's already thinking about that sort of stuff. Whether or not because he doesn't actually have the contraption, I don't believe, at the point that allows him to do it. But
Right.
it shows you his whole concept of thinking. You know, like
Yeah.
it's very Sherlock Holmes. You know, like Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes in the flight
how he
scene
sees
in that
the
first film.
future and then plans it out and then goes back and does it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, except for Echo, who doesn't execute most of the time and then has to undo it all. You know, they actually have a really cool cinematic that they did quite a few years back, specifically for explaining this about Echo. That's definitely worth a bit of a watch, a couple of minutes.
So I watched some gameplay of League of Legends while I was doing my research on this stuff.
Yeah.
And it just looked like absolute dog shit to me. Like I couldn't get into it. I was like, what the fuck is happening? There's like little people running everywhere. What are those little people? There's things going off. There's commentators going Bleh! About something happening with someone. I was just like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah, I reckon. For the games that you enjoy and like to play, probably the main game of League of Legends wouldn't be it, but something like what we were talking about the other day, Teamfight Tactics, which is that drafting sort of chess style game, more of a board game, or even like Legends of Runeterra, which is like the online card game, stuff like that. Like, and they're trying to, they've realised that I think Riot's realised to a degree that they've dug themselves into a bit of a corner with something like being the most premier MOBA alongside Dota. So introducing and gaining new players, they're going to have to come up with new content and new ways of engaging different people. So,
yep.
I think that the thing that you've said is absolutely like a real thing, you know. And so having more ways for people to interact, i.e., Arcane, is super awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm unlikely to go away and start playing League of Legends as a result of Arcane, but I'll certainly fucking watch the shit out of that show, and I'd buy an art print.
Else, mate.
Yeah.
You're potentially going to go away and start trying to paint like.
Yeah, exactly.
So how cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, I like this so far. Let's go straight yellow and white. See if that works. Just see if this is.
I like that you put some pink into the iron here. That's a cool concept. Do you know what I've been playing around a little bit lately? A similar sort of concept.
Yeah.
Nocturna's white flesh.
Yeah.
And just putting that into all different types of things.
Yeah. So, David Aroba did a video on YouTube the other day, which was basically him talking about painting metal on that new thing, and he used light flesh in the metal, and I thought I'd give that a try. That was my initial thought process of doing it, was like, yeah, I'll try that, see how it looks. But I've done it in the past and I haven't ever been able to land it the way I liked. So
this is on its way. This little spot you're doing right now is looking pretty good. Actually, what we should do, I'll send a photo to you, because I'm actually struggling. It'll probably be a good thing for chat as well, educational wise, because you know this better than I do at the moment. I'm trying to get this placement, this non-metal metallic placement right for gold, and I think I'm whiffing. So.
Yeah, all right.
If that's something you want to do, of course.
Of course, mate. Of course. Team Stonebeard for life, mate.
Team Stonebeard for life. So I've already made some adjustments to it, and so I don't have a more up-to-date photo, but this is what I was working on before I started tonight. I've shifted the main glint to the center of the metal band on the on his back.
Yep.
But it's still not right, so it could be a full redo. Thankfully, it's only a relatively small component. But
Where are you putting it in the chat or in voice chat?
Send it to voice chat.
Roger that. Rumble, rumble, till you take your face off. Rumble, rumble.
The rock brings a level of professionalism to that song that's maybe a little bit too professional for the gritty, grindy nature of what that song's actually about.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Alright, so... That's not... okay, so you're talking about the gold band.
Yeah.
And your concern is that
it does look shit. Well, I know it looks shit.
Yeah,
the highest glint point is not in the right place.
Yep.
And it's now, like, when I do put it in the right place, I think I've gone too high in value and I've lost contrast, and it kind of just looks like,
Yeah. So I'm still like really trying to figure out gold. You know, every time I do gold, I sort of feel like, oh yeah, I get a little bit closer, and then I go backwards like 15 steps. But the stuff that I've done that's been really good has been highest value being like a yellow as opposed to an ice yellow. You know, like a Chimera Cold.
100%.
Yeah, Chimera Cold yellow is that tends to look more like gold, and when you go over that, you either get into this old gold sort of colour, which, unless you've done a more desaturated palette, doesn't tend to look right, or it looks just shit out. So, yeah, I think probably I would be starting by just bringing that light a little bit down, and I think the highlights on the edges, if you're doing it, probably need to swing around a little bit further, because like when I look at the little balls, they look awesome. The little balls look awesome, but it's the band itself that's not quite working. So yeah,
it's you know, and I think I'm feeling comfortable now with like all these rings and all that sort of stuff. I think they're all reading really well.
Yeah.
But these sort of flat planes are the ones that are fuckers.
Yep. Yeah, try moving the glint slightly over to the right. Probably try a little bit lower value, like a yellow instead of that, and then. But yeah, I mean the glint doesn't work because I think you got too much glint.
Yeah.
It works on the rings and stuff because it's just a really tiny spot of glint.
Yeah. And it's one of those ones that. From like, and this is I guess the thing about non-metal metallic, some angles passable, and this is the main angle or the main line of view, and this one's not. But if it's the right side where you can see him turning to his right, like it gets quite a lot darker down the gold banding, and I think that's right. So it's like one of those ones that's like, I think I've just got to change this up a bit.
Yeah, let's bring up that second one. G'day, Diddy Lemon and Space Mood. Yeah, it looks a lot, but I would probably say you need a smidge more yellow again, still in those other areas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not happy with my formula at the moment. I think that's the other thing. I've been going from like, I kind of mix like just a magenta-y brown, chuck a bit of Games Workshop's
Ended contrast or.
I've used the contrast, yeah, but like the core color I use is Rhinox Hide as the base, and then I move through like Scrofulous and Heavy Gold Brown sort of mixed together, and I think that's where I'm falling down, trying to create my own color. I think I need to find a color that goes in there. So.
Yeah, when I figure out my approach, I'll let you know because I'm still fucked.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's the thing about gold is that you're constantly kind of like trying to tweak the
Because I'll grab out my dude that I just did. So I did all these dudes with gold for this diorama, and then I got to the last one, and I did it, and I was like, this gold looks better than any other gold that I've done anywhere else on the diorama, and I'm really pissed off about that because now all the rest of the gold just looks like shit to me. So
yeah.
I'll show you. So yeah, so this is the one that I did where I'm like, oh my god, I've nailed it, right? And I'll zoom in a bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh yes, look at my gold, baby. It's fucking, it's
humming.
yeah, it just looks like gold. And then I put it beside one of the other ones, like this one, which is another one that I did gold, and I'm just like, what are you doing, fuckwit? Like, seriously. They look nothing alike. And I got this fucking diorama with both of these clowns in it, and I'm like, oh, fuck. So,
yeah, how does this work?
How does this happen? You fucking mug. Anyway, I'll fix it. Eventually.
Always learning.
All Might, that colour was a mixture of ice yellow and light flesh that I just used for the airbrush, and I'm about to add some contrast paint to the airbrush. G'day zombie lol! And we're going to do some nuanced colours, some little tweaks. Zoom out now. Blub, 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 blub. You're welcome. So this colour is my go-to for just about everything. It's called Achillean Green. I love it.
Yeah, I'm a strong fan of this colour.
So I'm just going to use it.
Do you like Pterodon turquoise as well?
Yeah, it's okay, but I always go for Achillean Green, so...
Yeah.
So I'm just using that. I do, yes, yeah.
I love that it's like a Spanish influenced approach with Pizarski's.
Yeah.
Like, I love the green green forest. Is that what it's called?
It isn't forest green, but it's the same like approach as Pizarski. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you've adapted it to your own style. That's cool. And like when you do your glaze, how much are you looking to fade out the blend versus just harmonize it with the tint?
Honestly, it depends on the area. You know, like when I'm trying to draw focus versus when I'm trying to smooth transitions. You know, in this instance, I'm trying to leave a little bit of that white showing, but so it depends. Is the short answer.
Yeah. That's the answer I thought, because it's the most like feeling-based answer. But it's one of those ones that like I think I've always meant to ask that. I've never sort of asked it.
Sometimes I use white. I'll use white, but right at the end, and I very rarely will use that for the airbrush. So I'm actually going to put some brown into the steel now, for no discernible reason other than I think it needs a little bit of brown and warmth. So
this will be coming on the underside, I assume.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at us go. We're like a hip Australian version of MM.
Sure you don't want to bag me out a little bit for some stuff, or?
Honestly, like the way Rodrigo does it is just better.
Yeah. You idiots.
Yeah. I'm saying a distinct lack of tornadoes.
Yes, where are your tornadoes at? Tornadoes? Silly little man. Alright, we're going to do some of the green bits now. I'll do glints afterwards.
Whenever I'm on with you, I always like to hear from the chat. You know, what's going on in the chat?
That's a good question, mate.
Questions for Trent or myself, mainly Trent.
Oh, you're a gold medal winning artist now, mate. So you're allowed to throw questions for yourself.
Yeah, that is true. Whether I can answer them or not, that's another thing.
Confident you can't, but hey.
Yeah. Fake it until you make it.
Nah, it's all good, mate. I value your perspective. When we're talking on stream and in life.
Indeed. Maybe we should talk to the stream about a future collab.
Oh yeah, let's do collaboration talk.
Yeah, sure thing.
Fuck yeah.
When do you stop feel like this is a great question from Yab. When do you stop feeling like you have no idea what you're doing? Never.
Yeah, let you know when I feel it. Let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Buck said fake it till you make it earlier, and it's 100% like the truth, because you never stop. You never stop learning. And I think the only time when you stop feeling like you have no idea what you're doing is when you stop opening yourself up to new possibilities and new ideas. Like, that's ultimately what you're doing when you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, is you're trying to do something new, which is exactly what you should be trying to do.
Yeah, it's probably a sign to almost come off the mountain if you've hit a point where you sort of know everything, you know, like that's probably the climb up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So like, I think as long as you're, and this is something that Trent's talked about on the stream heaps of times, and it's probably always good to rehash it every few episodes. Really, is you kind of want to be constantly in a place where you're you feel like you're almost sort of head underwater, but not quite. Where you're constantly sort of living in a place where you're pushing yourself.
Indeed, that is what we call the zone of learning. The comfort zone, which is where most people like to sit, is not a zone that's conducive to you becoming a better painter. It's the zone of you staying exactly where you are and maybe getting a little bit better at your brush control. But if you really genuinely want to improve, you got to throw yourself out there and do some weird shit.
I think for myself, like often when I'm out like trying new things and pushing myself, those painting sessions usually end up like with not a particularly grand result at the end of it. Like it's like, would you agree, Matt? Like the 100%. the breakthroughs or the successes to the failures, or not failures, but not quite landing where you want to.
They come in the next model, mate. Like that's the thing. That's when you get that breakthrough, is the next model, when the stuff that you didn't realise you were learning, you've learnt, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, well, I've just clicked on 3 or 4 things that I didn't realise I was even working on.
And I think what this like correlates directly with is people don't see that immediate result and sort of give up. They get disheartened and go, well, I didn't get it right, and I've tried this, for a 4-hour paint session or whatever, so I just can't do it and I suck, like you gotta, and maybe they don't finish that project, and then if you never finish the project, you never get into that next project. So
yeah, so I think finishing projects is a big one, right? And I don't necessarily mean like continuing to do something until you hate it. I mean, yes, reaching a point where you go, I've learnt what I want to learn from this project, and I'm done. I'm not going to fuck around with it anymore. And that's an important distinction, because I think sometimes people are like, oh fuck, I haven't finished this project. I need to strip it and start again. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Culprit of doing that, 2 months back or 3 months back. Yeah. I definitely thought that I would like reach some kind of catharsis, like stripping the model so close to the end, and sort of letting it go, and maybe that was something to salvage from the action, but I don't I guess to some degree I regret stripping it now, as I could have even just placed it aside and come back to it with a fresh set of eyes and a new set of skills developed over that couple of months to maybe rejuvenate it.
Yep. There's always, you've always got different ways you can approach something. But yeah, putting something down and coming back to it later is usually a better thing than stripping it, because you'll often come back a couple of days later and go, oh well, that's not as bad as I thought it was, or yeah, wow, that's fucking terrible, but hey, at least I know what not to do next time.
Yeah, 100%. So, in regards to this Hyperborea diorama, where do we have you placed a sort of a milestone where you think? And I mean, this is a fairly ambiguous question, but have you placed a milestone yet where you think it's like the turning point where you've kind of got over the bulk of the hill? Yeah.
Well, so I'm approaching this differently to Camelot in the sense that, so with Camelot, I had very clear scenes, and I would work on a scene until I sort of felt like, hey, I've got to stop this scene and do something new. But I could always go back and be like, yep, I'm going to finish this scene now, and that's done. So there was always a very clear like halfway point about the scenes. You know, when I got the third scene completed, all of a sudden I was like, wow, only 2 to go. This one's a lot more nebulous because there's a lot of models all fighting in the same space, and that's creating some challenges because I don't feel like painting a model completely to the finish point yet until I have a really clear feeling on, you know, how everything looks together. So I'm trying to get everything to a point, and then we'll assess it and go, well, okay, so this needs to be more, you know, this, and this needs a little bit more of this color, and, you know, I need to change this up completely, that type of question. So I don't think that hump is going to happen until I finish painting all of the models, put them all on a base, and then start to reevaluate and work out what needs to be changed.
That's a super interesting approach, but probably like considering the project, considering where Camelot was completely like sectioned into direct scenes, like you bang, you know, here's Galahad, here's, you know, Arthur. With them all on, you kind of got to. They can each, to a degree, have their own light sources and directions. Whereas this one, you've got to be thinking about it
as a whole.
As a whole.
Yeah. So yeah, Camelot was awesome because you'd be like, cool. Well, I've got 2 models in this diorama, and there's going to be one light source, and I know what that light source is, and I'm going to be able to think about those 3 models in relation to those light sources, and that's it. This one is nothing like that because all of the models are in the same space and all of the light sources are the same, but they're all standing differently, and they've all got different, you know, focal points, and so it's a much bigger challenge than Camelot from that perspective.
Yeah, and I initially thought, actually, and just sort of thinking while you're talking through that, I initially thought that the gate, or the spell that Aramin's sort of opening up was going to be a real challenge to balance the light, but it might actually be a really important anchor instead.
That's the central focus point. Everything else has to revolve around that. So that's going to probably be the brightest element, or at least a very bright element, so that, you know, you've got that central sort of focal point for the whole diorama, so you can sort of be like, okay, well, what's happening? Everything else is happening around that and in relation to that, in a way.
It's it's going to be quite beneficial. I think it's going to help, you know, like it's going to be a part of the piece that helps everything else.
We hope.
We know.
I'm beginning to feel, and this will sound crazy, but I'm beginning to feel like I may need to take longer than this one than I did on Camelot because of those reasons. Like, everything's going to need tweaking and really working out the whole piece, because otherwise it's just going to get lost, you know, like it's just going to look like a big old muddy mess.
Yeah.
dudes fucking fighting and flying everywhere. It's not going to look very good. So
It's that, and like for me, like so, I absolutely agree. I actually definitely think this will go longer because I think it'll be one of those ones that'll be hard to call time on.
yeah,
But the one thing, and this is like quite a small element, but I think is like the tree placements and those little bits and bobs, making sure they're right on
yeah.
to help diffuse some of that busyness.
Trying to paint with my left hand for 1 minute. All right.
Yeah, nice. Nicky Jags is a great member of the stream. he keeps you honest, mate.
Yes, he's a work colleague that is one of the world's biggest pests.
He hasn't hit us with any of those dad jokes that he was running back a few months ago. Been a while.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Learn from the master himself. Thank you. That's got to have been a minute. There you go. Bit of left-handed painting. That wasn't too bad, actually. Thought it would be worse.
I'm a lefty, man. So look, you know, I feel like I'm an adequate judge for the left-handed painting, and it looked pretty good to me.
Thank you.
Don't know how you don't like this guy. He's the best out of the box, nearly.
Oh my god. He's growing on me, but not enough. Not enough. All right. Thank you, Randall, for the bilateral transfer.
Yeah, so collaboration.
Start, collaborate, and listen.
Is on the horizon.
Yeah, so let's talk through it. So Bucks and I decided that since we're both very fast painters, and Bucks is really trying to grow his social media presence and wants to cash in on Big Deno's popularity, that we should collaborate on a project.
Right, Big Deno. I can't even say that out loud. I'm going to say right, Big Deno to the top, but that's not so. Fucking hell.
Classic. No, look, I'm all for it, mate. I've been trying to get a collab. So I've done 2 collaborations in the past, right? One of them was a collaboration with a dude called Macca, also Victorian, and he's like, we should do a collaboration. I said, let's fucking do it, mate. And he goes, I've had this really mad idea. I said, cool, what is it? He's like, let's do Space Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood. And he's like, yeah, because then we got Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. And I was like, okay, I'm actually quite into this, because there was a Little Red Riding Hood model that was made by Nuts Planet that was a 75mm, and then there was a Space Wolf that was made by Joaquin Palacios for his JP Studio brand that was also 75mm. So we were like, let's do it. So he said, I'll do the Space Wolf, and I said, sweet, I'll do Little Red Riding Hood. So I bought Little Red Riding Hood, I converted it to have a little servo skull, she had a little bolt pistol, it was fucking awesome. It's like, this is the best. And then Mac is like, yeah, cool, so we'll do this and we'll do this base, and I was like, yeah, awesome. So I finished Little Red Riding Hood, I'm like, yeah, Mackie, how you going with Big Bad Wolf? He's like, yeah, it's going really well. Still in the fucking box. The model is still in the box. Okay. So when are you starting it? He's like, yeah, real soon. Year and a half later, he's like, hey man, I'm not going to get around to doing that fucking collaboration, so do you want me to send you the model? You can do it. I was like, thanks mate. So he sent me the model, I sold fucking Little Red Riding Hood, and the Space Wolf's still sitting in my bits box over there. So.
Oh well. And the other one? You did another one, you said?
Dave Colwell. So
yeah.
let's do a collaboration, man. I said, sweet, what do you want to do? He's like, Severax and Solrax. those fucking Mad Dog barbarians from Black Sun. Let's do it. I was like, mad, let's do it. So we get the models. He's like, cool. So we'll get Jim to make us some bases that lock together and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, mad. And he's like, cool. So I said, all right, well, I'll start assembling them. He's like, oh, you don't have to do that because I'm not going to be able to do it for 2.5 years.
He's got quite a busy schedule.
Good collaboration, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, so this is where, I step in. Young and eager.
So before we continue your story, Randall has g'day Viking 444. Randall's delivered a very, very good dad joke in the chat there. That's a good one. Randall, I've got one for you, mate. It's pretty good.
Hey, Jump. Listen to this. My wife just told me to do lunges to stay in shape. I said, that's a big step forward. The delay was worth it.
Good. Yeah, tell Jub that I just recently was diagnosed with colour blindness, and the diagnosis came completely out of the purple.
Fred just told me to tell you that he just got a diagnosis that he's colourblind. And that to him came completely out of the purple. Yeah, you got that one? Did you like that? It was cute.
Thank you.
You got cute.
She does think I'm cute. That's okay. Viking 444.
You got to be careful with what you say because he takes that very, very specifically as I am cute.
Which green are you talking about, Viking? Which green are you referring to?
Is it the green that's directly under what you're doing right now? I think that's what he might be talking about.
I'll point it on my palette. Is it this green or this green? You just let me know and I'll answer your question. No, Nicky Jags, that's a no. It's a no from me.
That's not yet. It literally didn't take much, did it? One mention and he's just ripping him out.
Yeah. You can't give that guy any air, I'm telling you. World's biggest pest.
So anyway, back to the third collaboration in your journey to deliver a collaboration.
Yes.
Enter Andy Bucks.
Andy Bucks himself, the great man.
So we're looking at doing a Pirates of the Jade Sea collaboration.
Indeed. Yep. So the Pirates of the Jade Sea figures by Big Child Creatives. Thank you. They were a Kickstarter initially, and they had some absolute baller models, and I was pretty keen on the models. Hey Bucks, you want to try something? I think I might have set this up. This might work.
Are you going to try and bring me onto camera?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Give me 1 sec.
All right, you got to put your shirt on, have you?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me. We're going to try something fun tonight. So that was this green from AK 3rd generation. It's called Dark Green Grey. But I have mixed in a little bit of this Chimera Phthalo Green. Plus some black and just there's lots of colours mixed in there. So. Create a room. Geno room. Alright, so try this one, Bucks, when you get back.
What do I need to do? Follow this link?
Yeah, go to that link. What did the ocean say to the beach? You didn't say anything, mate, just waved.
Does that need a password?
Yeah, yeah, I think I just put the password as 1234, but I can't remember. If that didn't work.
Yeah, that did.
Good. Cool, so... Alright. So I forget how I was going to do this. I had this whole plan ready to go.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. Let me see if I can now do this. It is, kind of. Oh, look at this, Bucks.
Are we on here? Oh, hello.
Alright, hang on. Let me just, I've got to sort your audio out.
There's a bit of delay.
Alright, I think what we need to do is mute your Discord audio. So I will do that. How do I just fucking turn that off? This is bullshit. Well, you can see Bucks on the screen, but you can hear me talking through Bucks's thing.
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, give me a sec. How's that? Oh. I can hear me through you.
I'll figure it out somehow. I've either got to turn, I think maybe it's, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? No, unmute yourself on Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. We can talk now.
Nice. We all good?
It looks fine. Just let me know. Oh no. My camera's dropped out. It's okay. I'll fix that. Anyway,
we'll get there.
We should be good. We should be good now.
Yeah, nice. Hello.
Wes is always having a chat. What a legend he is. Alright, I think we're back. Yeah! Alright, I made it work. What a legend.
Well done.
How good am I at the internet?
Pretty good.
Cool. Anyway, so yeah, collaboration. So why don't you talk about some of the models that we're going to collaborate
sure
with?
Let me dig some out. So, be noted for any Australians in the chat who are planning on going to Crimson Brush 2023. You tend to come back with a box that looks something like this, especially when Stonebeard's around. He brings a wonderful assortment of goods that you'll want to take home with you. So I only have 2 at the moment to look at. We're waiting on a third one to come in, which we could pull up on the stream.
Yeah, I can pull it up on
the end. But the first 2 that I have, I've taken. Trent's been kind enough to give me the exact picks that I really wanted for this. So first one up, we have this chap here. which is like an orc dual-wielding samurai. His name is Merksashi.
Yep, he's a good one.
And I was particularly fond of this one. I think this one suits my paint style.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to playing around and pushing the Spanish style further. So very excited about that one. And then we have Ogle Dur, which is this one here.
Also a banger.
And also a banger. And another warrior type that looks a little bit more like potentially the party leader. What do you think? Between him and the Gul'dan looking one?
Yeah, I think it's Gul'dan, but he's like the first lieutenant guy. That guy.
Yeah. That sounds good. And then I think what we're thinking maybe Musashi could be like a bit of a lone wolf of the party. What do you reckon? Sort of him sort of standing off somewhere, sort of by himself.
Well, we need to come up with some sort of like story behind why we're doing a diorama of these collaborating chaps. So, we can actually have multiple cameras, I believe. So, I can bring as many people onto the stream as I want.
And then finally, the last one, and I'll just get the name of the chap, or if you just want to bring him up, that'll be.
Yeah, he's the dude with the cannon.
Yeah, he is.
On a Katami or something. I don't know. On a Diorama.
Yeah.
I've got a stone beard, miniature.
I feel like Tony is in the name somewhere, based on how he looks.
Shop. Oh, someone did something. Hello, Knuckles Creative Bude. G'day, mate. Thanks for whatever you just did then. What a top chap you are. Shop brands, Big Child. Canon guy. Onitsukaji is his name.
That's the one. And he will be my sort of heavy, I guess, bigger boy, wielding that cannon. And probably actually, before we ever thought about this or really even discussed these particular models, was the one that grabbed me the most, actually. Back in my very young display painting days, I was like, man, this model's sick. I would love to paint this. So.
That's the one you're talking about that's on the screen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got 3 of my favourite models from that collection.
I did.
Yeah, so that's how you know how much I like you, because I've agreed to let you paint models that I liked in our collaboration.
Yes.
See you, Nicky Jags.
Luckily, though, you kind of like a lot of models. So
I do,
because you are quite fond of the sorcerer character.
Yeah, I love the one that. So a few years ago at Crystal Dragon, we had Kaha out, and she also came along and entered. We didn't have her as a judge; we just had her entering, and so she entered her version of the Pirate King, which is this dude, and her version was crazy. I was super keen to paint that. That one I really like. This one I'm actually not that keen on, but I can make that work. I think I was also not keen on it when it first came out because I was like, I couldn't paint that, I'm not good enough. But I'm feeling a bit more confident now.
Yeah, I think you've got this one.
Yep.
I think that, and you know who I'm drawing, like direct parallel to on that one?
Yep.
Is the Hera sorcerer, the noble sorcerer you did.
Yeah.
I think that he's like, they're in a very similar pose, they've got the sort of same elements.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you'll get a run back on that and do a pretty good job. We've also, I guess the other one for you is that we've brought in a pinch hitter from another brand, I believe, haven't we?
Yeah, we brought in a Hera. Big Minotaur. Is it this one? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's the...
Oh no, that's Grunkful, it's not that one. I've got it somewhere up here. Oh, here it is, yeah. No, it's Black Crow. That's right, it's Black Crow. It's this guy, this big Minotaur. Fucking beast of a model. So
maybe we should talk about him, because I think we're going to need to add a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 elements, which will be no problem for you to get him into that pirate.
Yeah, we'll do some piratey stuff to him.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's the 6 models that we've got picked out so far.
So we need to come up with a scenic story, where they are and why.
Yeah.
Someone's got to build a diorama for it.
We tossed around the idea of a boat, and that could be good but challenging. But I don't mind the idea of them arriving from the boat onto docks, where we get to then incorporate some really fun colours and elements.
Wood. I do like wood.
We do get to do wood, and I love putting purples and teals and all of those sorts of colours into wood.
Yep.
And they would particularly harmonise well with the colour palette probably that we're going to use for this project anyway. Are we going to keep the palette pretty sort of close to what it is box art wise, just because of the vibe, or are we going to go?
Well, we haven't discussed that, mate.
We haven't discussed that. Yeah. We could do that right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably like to go a little bit outside of the realms of box art for some of them.
Sure.
But I haven't got any firm opinions. Hey Wes, I forgot to tell you, so Bunny's the one who's actually doing this moon diorama. That was we were tossing it up the other night, and she was like, "Oh, that seems like a cool idea," and so she's just launched into that, and it's absolutely awesome. So we'll have to get a picture of it from her.
Yeah, classic example of when inspiration strikes on that one, because Bun was gonna put a bit of distance between Moon and the current project she was doing, so she was gonna do a couple of things in between, and then got to chatting, and they, between Trent and herself, they hashed out a really cool idea and concept, and yeah, that just lit a fire under her.
It's
and she's
two
going hard.
two moon faces, mate. The two moon faces. Here, I'll show you the picture. She posted in the chat. It's fucking awesome. Like, she's an absolute fucking jet. This is the concept so far. Yeah. How good's that? That is going to be all time.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. I can't wait to see.
Yeah, so colour palette, like I'm keen to do something a little bit more Australian. So let's do lots of reds.
We can do lots
red
of reds.
red oxides, like the fucking Uluru, mate. And let's get some bottle brushes.
Right. Red oxide, or can we go more to a Cartacci red?
Well, so I'm open to anything, mate. Like, truly, I have no real opinion. And I'm happy for you to drive
the colours,
the project. Yeah.
So the thing I think about, right, is we're gonna have a fairly decent amount of gold and a fairly decent amount of silvers, but nothing like overbearing. They're all kind of just featuring components. So where we can have a lot of fun is in the skin tones for my stuff and the Minotaur. You're going to have to get... first off, I think that the Pirate King has to be front and center and be quite standout.
Yep.
Yeah. So then he's got to have a palette that, like, all of the other characters need to push your eyes in to him.
So he's the center. All right. So let's do a little bit of drawing.
Yeah.
On here. So you think this guy right in the center, holding him, Pirate King. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in the center.
Yeah.
And he's kind of looking off to a direction, which gives us something to work with there.
All right. So if he's in the center.
Yeah. Let's just do a flat.
So he's there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's he standing on?
Shall we start with docks?
Yep. All right. So we'll have. Well, should we have him on the boat?
You could have him on a boat.
So if we went, say, like, if this is a square-based diorama, if we had a docks here, we could have the prow of a boat here.
Yeah.
And he could be sort of standing at the top of the boat, overlooking the docks.
Yeah. All right. I think that works well.
Yep. So
I think also on the boat
that allows us to do like you know, a really cool, like, whatever that thing is, you know, like a dragon or whatever on the front of the prow of the boat.
So does that mean we can half this thing up to be boat and water potentially, like on your illustration on the bottom one?
Yeah.
Cut the thing clean in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
And then we have a gangplank coming down here like this.
Yeah, love it.
And then we can have, I don't know, some stacked barrels or something here.
Yeah, stacked barrels, crates, maybe some fishmonger stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we get a pillar in there somewhere, a wooden pillar in there somewhere, that maybe we can put some fish nets and stuff on, and we will use the samurai looking one to be kind of on the post? What do you think about that?
So we could have like a pillar coming out of the water, that the dock's tied to, the boat's tied to, type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that that's going to work for your dude standing on top of it.
Yeah. I just thought maybe we could even elongate just some of the, you know, like.
So this guy fits in with that aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
This dude does not.
No.
He's casting some sort of spell or doing something nefarious. So this environment is maybe not a good fit.
Wait a minute though. Could we potentially do something with him where he's like, if they've just arrived, right? Like, then he's maybe like casting or looking into his portents, you know, maybe like assessing like, okay, we've arrived at a new land.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to consult my oracle or whatever the case may be. So maybe put like something in front of him that he's looking into, like, I don't know, as an option. Casting the bones even, something like that.
So I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying that is going to be a challenging model to incorporate. Now the Minotaur, he's less challenging because he's just, he's just overlooking something with his axe. So he can be standing on the barrels for all it matters, right? Overlooking the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, he's just a brute.
Yeah,
right?
he's just a big dude.
He can just do brute stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, the cannon guy, he's probably fine. He can probably fit in anywhere.
Same with
sword guy, loner guy, he's fine.
Ogle Dur with the giant axe probably needs to be kind of like front and center but lower than the Pirate King.
Yep.
Just because he's kind of got like weapons sort of ready, already sort of taking a big step forward. So.
Yep. All right. So is it a friendly docks or is it an unfriendly docks that we're embarking upon?
I reckon it's a unfriendly.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that we have weapons drawn and spells potentially being slung.
Cool. So that makes sense for him. And the Pirate King, he can still be standing overlooking it because he's just a fucking guy. He doesn't care, right? He's like, yep.
He's a Chad, mate. He's like,
yeah. He's just like,
you got to deal with my elite pirate crew before you even get close to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Love that for him.
Yeah.
So that's cool, but and that sort of gives us a perspective for the wizard, but it doesn't make an awful lot of sense, as I'm sure you know, that we would just be able to embark on an unfriendly docks and rampage ourselves.
We're going to need some adversaries. Is this getting dialed up?
Is it about to get dialed up? Oh my goodness.
Oh no, no. We're at 6, are we going to be very quickly at 12?
This could be.
So...
You might be about to join me in the craziness.
Oh no. Well, like, just what quarter are we doing this in? As soon as this, you're going to need a break.
I'm going to need a fucking break, that's for sure.
Yeah. So we've got a bit of time before this happens. But I think we're going to try and have this done for Crimson Brush 2023.
Well, I'm judging, so you can have your half ready. Because we are going to try and make it separatable potentially.
Well, I don't necessarily know if it even needs to be entered. I think it's just maybe
just a display.
Just that's when we potentially will next sort of see each other. Oh no, Queensland Model Expo, but you know what I mean? Like if that's the time that we bring the two pieces together and have it as a display at the Crimson Brush for people to check out, that could be really cool.
Yeah, so that's the plan for the collaboration, friends. And at this point in time, we haven't really gotten much more progress than that. But I think for a project like this, the ideas need to percolate. You know, you need to think about why everything exists, and you know what reason you've got to have it all together. And sometimes, you know, that's probably something I'm guilty of, is not quite landing those whys and why everything's together. And then when it all comes together, that's when, you know, the pedal just hits the metal and you just fucking go, right?
Well, that's it. Like, look, we're both probably a bit of like believe the hype type guys, so we can probably very quickly just convince each other to just go for it. So
Yeah.
one of us putting some stop gaps in to actually take a step back and think about why we're doing something. You know, probably a good idea.
So Wes reckons we should have the wizard holding his hand out, having dropping like innards, like he's casting the reading the runes or the portents on a.
That's a pretty cool idea.
It is a cool idea indeed.
My only challenge to that is that they don't look that savage, eh? Like the Pirate King is dressed in very fresh garments, and like they kind of like
we
upper end.
could certainly dirty them up, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, Gul'dan is an exception though. He's got some shit happening.
He is, isn't he? He's like a little bit
He's
more
a slimy
shamanic,
guy.
a little more.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he obviously is a shaman to some degree, but a little also it's sort of reflected in his image a little more than the others. Because we kind of really what's going on. There's sort of three different tropes in play, right? We have sort of an Oriental trope. We have
Pirate trope, and then we have orc trope.
Yeah. And then by throwing a Minotaur in, we've kind of added a little bit of that that wow element. Hey, like that whole for the Horde tribes. That sort of stuff. If we pull this off,
it'll be moderately okay. No, it'll be fun, mate. It'll be fun, and you know, that sort of collaboration. I've never done it before, but I've certainly done projects with a lot of models. But the thing that will be a challenge and fun is for us to try and turn, g'day Neshland, all of those models together into a cohesive story. That doesn't just look, you know, like shit. That with our two contrasting styles, you know, how are we going to fuse those two things together?
That's very true. I think that I've got an answer for that one immediately that jumps to mind. Is that like most of my non-metal metallic experience in the last 7 months has been based off what you've sort of taught me.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a really nice point of interest where we can keep them pretty similar and be able to link the projects together while still having some differences.
Yeah. Well, the key is being able to work together. Like, don't just be like, oh, cool, I'm in silos, and then be like, hey, I've finished this guy. You know, like actually go, okay, cool, I'm starting this metal. You know, where's our light source? How can we work this together? You know, those sorts of things. That's
what I'm really looking forward to, right? That sort of stuff, where it's sort of like, because I think that will really push both of us, skill set wise and creatively. So. It's going to be it has the potential to be an absolute Bobby D if done correct.
Well, those are 6 of the great models, right? 6 of the absolute rippers. So
yeah. We've cut out a few. We've cut there isn't actually a weak model in the 6 that we've.
No, I don't think there is.
And let me get a little bit of experience with 75 mil up before we get going.
No, look, we're months away yet, mate. So
calm
your farm.
I'm just excited, you know. I'm G'd up. I want to go now.
Yeah. I know that feeling. For sure. Rumble, rumble. G'day, Space Toy.
Maybe we can even call in some expert advice from around the world if we need it, you know. Phone a friend in.
I've got a few friends. We'll get Natalia on the block.
Yeah.
I've got to hit her up actually because she promised me she'd come on stream and say g'day. So
she's doing it now, so
yeah,
she'll probably have all the setup ready to go.
All right.
Something I've been thinking about a little bit, you know, to the side of this is like since Crimson Brush and acquiring a few pieces from other artists, I've got a bit of a penchant for it.
It's like tattoos, you know. It's like fucking tattoos. Once you get one, you're just like, get them on my body.
Yeah. I had one lined up from Mr. Benny Layton, but his mum came in, cut my lunch.
Swooped in, eh?
Yeah, swooped in and said, "Nah, not going to happen."
Oh no. All right, what colour for these big wappy pauldron things? Are they metal as well? Do you reckon? Or should I do them?
Yeah, on the edge there.
Should I do them?
Absolutely metal.
Bronze.
They're massive. Yeah.
But let me rephrase that: steel, bronze, or gold?
If it's gold, it has to be pretty warm, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably leaning into gold. You haven't used bronze at all yet, have you?
No.
Oh wait. He's an adversary, isn't he?
He's a bad guy. Well, depending on your perspective. So bronze.
Yeah, it's going to have to be bronze.
All right, let's try bronze.
Otherwise, it's going to create confusion.
Let's try some bronze.
Have you got a bronze under your belt?
Nope.
I don't see you use a lot of bronze.
Nope, I do not have a bronze under the belt. So.
Here we go.
Okay, let's go.
If you need a little bit of I think Jose Da Vinci just dropped a little video. If you need a.
He did actually.
Course.
He did. No. So I have got a bronze, but the thing about, you learn all the time, right? And so I think recently I've gotten better at, non-metallic metal and just my approach in general. And so I haven't done a bronze since probably 12 months.
Yeah.
And I think I've evolved a lot since then. So we'll try a bronze without trying to steal Jose Da Vinci's recipe. And then when it turns out bad, that's when we'll go look at his recipe.
Yeah.
And be like, yes, I see where I've gone wrong.
Point to the whole bronze area.
Yeah, just it's this part. This part,
yeah.
Yes, I see where I've gone wrong there. Thank you, Jose.
Why is it that it's always the way, right? This one gold strap. Like everything else has been pretty streamlined the whole way through, and then this one fucking strap wants to not play ball.
Alright, so now I've just got to decide where else we want to be bronze. So I don't know that we want too much else bronze actually, because I like the way that the metal looks on the rest of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be putting too much more. Maybe into is there like some fun swirls in the axe or something like some casing or on the axe there or on the shield banding?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could also do the scale mail.
Yes, perfect. Actually, that's perfect. Yep, the scale mail's perfect. Yep, I'm even doing that right now.
Yeah.
Indeed, Tanaflas, you are absolutely correct. It's. I think the mindset is actually the real important part here. It's okay if I fuck it up, This doesn't matter, because we just try again with the experience of what we've learned. So, be fearless. I have a saying I love from a cricket player actually, which is, don't play reckless cricket, play fearless cricket. And the difference is, reckless cricket is just playing crazy shots and just giving away your wicket cheaply. Playing fearless cricket is about pushing the game along, adding some momentum to the game, and playing your shots and being fearless, doing stuff that you don't do much. So g'day Rez, yeah, it is a big boy.
I always liked Vince's take on this sort of stuff as well. Paint brave. Like,
yeah,
nothing's ever gonna happen if you're just sitting around waiting for it to happen. Like, you got to go out and try things and give it a red hot.
I do like Vince. What a lovely man he is.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of him lately, but I think I saw a video quickly pop up. It looks like he's changed his format a bit.
Yeah, I think he's spent some time chatting to Miniac and stuff, and Miniac was basically saying, man, you need to... Yeah, Flick, that's absolutely bang on. You need to up the quality of your production, because, you're delivering such great content, and yet people aren't seeing it because it's just a fucking random dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rapid
transit
with his like 1990s intro screen that looks like presentation at school.
yeah. Graphic design is my passion type of guy.
Yeah.
And he's also wearing his little fucking smock while he's at it as well. Come on, mate. Come on, Vince.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe adding a bit of cold yellow has done the trick.
Oh, bit of cold yellow.
Not a colour I've ever used.
Oh, well, it's surprisingly strong and powerful. Bit like me.
Yeah, it is.
Bit like me.
Debatable.
Rapid Transit, thank you for the subscription, mate. Yeah, a long, crazy time that I've been doing this. And Flickster, you amazing human, what's been happening?
I wonder if Flickster still has his little JFDIC reminder on the desk. I think that's the last time I saw him in the stream.
Probably not. He's smarter than that. Yes. Making Ghost Host the premiere thing that whatever it is. Whatever it's called. Alright, so we're going for bronze.
Yeah, we're shooting for bronze.
Bronze is the go.
What is it? Shoot for the stars and land somewhere in the clouds?
Yeah, great.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. It's become quite a spirit animal of Team Stonebeard.
It has.
Our young German friend.
So, my friend Moopsy, and my girlfriend, by the way, is into it. She loves it. Every time she sees me, she's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, you're the best. But yeah, so Moopsy was looking into the dude. Apparently that dude and the kid, they've never met before. Like, they're not related.
Oh, yeah.
They're not related. They both just love... They both just love theme parks, and this TV show brought them together.
Fucking hell.
How good's that? Okay.
Imagine, like, what a thing to just get, like, this is what I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I am shooting to be a theme park announcer.
What a guy. I love him. I love him so much.
I'm just going to give it my all.
Yeah. Oh, so there's this documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. It probably is, because it's a Netflix exclusive. It's called Jiro Dreams of Sushi. And it's a really, really good documentary. It's just about this little dude, right, who he's like 90 or something now, and he just decided, I'm going to be a sushi chef. That's what he wanted to do with his life. And so his entire life has been dedicated to mastering being a sushi chef. And so he bought a restaurant in a metro station mall, like it's like a strip mall. The sushi's got 10 seats, right? It's got 10 seats that people can come in, sit down, eat their sushi in a fucking train station. And it's a 3 Michelin star rated sushi restaurant.
Oh.
Like,
so he's all the way up.
Literally one of the best restaurants in the world, and you have to book in advance for like 2 years. And so the whole documentary is just about, you know, how very, very zen, very like, you know, perfecting whatever it is you are setting yourself to. You know, if you're gonna make a cup of coffee, make it the best cup of coffee you can. You know,
look, I am an absolute fiend for mastery. Like, it's something I think anyone who really loves this end of painting as well probably has a bit of love for it too, eh? Like,
so I the reason I bring it up is it's a really, really good documentary to watch, and it just gives you a bit of perspective. Sometimes, you know, we get wrapped up in got to make money, or got to do the daily grind, whatever you're wrapped up in. And this guy's just there going, yep, I'm just going to make sushi the absolute best I can, and I'm going to be disciplined, and you know, I'm going to go to the sushi market every day, and I'm going to do this, and you know, next minute, fucking 3 Michelin star restaurant in a train station with 10 seats.
Yeah. That's a destination on the map of restaurants, right? Like, how cool is that?
And then
10 seats, love it. You know, and you know, he probably is making just enough. You know what I mean? Well, not just enough. He'd be making a bit.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? He's not taking more than he needs, I don't think, if he's only got 10 seats.
Yeah.
Big fan. What a guy.
Jiro dreams of sushi. Well worth a watch.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Moira.
Oh, are you? How far into Schitt's Creek are you?
Well, I am now just reserved to clips, as Yana has powered her way through 6 seasons.
Yeah, Jiro, Jiro, dreams of sushi.
Yeah. Are you finished?
Schitt's Creek?
Well, she's got one more season to go.
Hey, ask her if she thinks that the later seasons have really been like fucking funnier and better.
Do you think that it's got better and more funny as the seasons have gone? Quite like peaking at the later seasons?
A bit. It's a bit, yeah.
She thinks a little bit. I don't know if you can hear her. She said a little bit, but she thinks it's been fairly consistent.
Yeah. It's a good chat.
She loves Moira.
Like, Moira is the queen. Moira is my queen.
Yeah. She's muchly into it. She's actually sitting behind my screen right now in a reading nook, watching a game of basketball.
What a legend. It's my future wife to be. Someone's future wife to be, anyway.
Yeah, wow. 4 weeks. 4.5 weeks. I think. 5 weeks or 4 weeks? 4.5. Something like that. Probably should know the date. 5 weeks.
Don't you reckon that was sort of the point of the show, though, Wes? You know, they're like caricatures of real people, and then they slowly become real people.
Eugene's great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate Stevie. I don't like Stevie.
Yeah, I struggled with her character. And it's interesting, she was the one I liked the most early on.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the sort of morose nature of her that doesn't do it for me.
But then she remains, she gets more unlikable for me because, she's just so fucking miserable about everything in her life. It's like, come on, mate.
Yeah. I think we also just watched the first 3 episodes of Pam and Tommy.
Good?
Yeah. I think Seth Rogen is actually delivering a fantastic job on this. Like, he's doing really well. But is it, what's his name from Ron Swanson? Is it?
Yeah, Ron Swanson. Love that guy.
He's in it. Yeah. He plays a porno director.
Legend.
Yeah. So.
He's unreal.
And he's like, a small role, but he's been good. And what's his name? Is it Sebastian something?
Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing a good Tommy.
I was impressed
Actually, they're all doing well.
I was impressed by the actual... Cara Nash doesn't stream, no, Space Toy. I was impressed by like the press photos I saw of it, how much Lily Evans and Sebastian Stan looked like good.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I mean, Pammy is literally like Pammy. Like it's. There are some moments you're like, wow. Takes you back to your childhood. If you were born in the 90s. Sorry, in the 80s. Or young in the 90s. Yeah, we caught up with Space Toy. Caught up with Cara on the weekend for a little bit and had a bit of a paint and a hangout. And I was trying to convince her to do some classes on monsters specifically, because she's sort of just, I guess, in our part of the world, that's her forte to some degree. But she just told me, get a sponge out, lesson over. So convincing her to stream, you might get a similar response.
She's a character,
Yeah. Tell you what, like, hot take, I loved her Persephone. You weren't the biggest fan of her Persephone, but I really enjoyed it. I thought I loved the colours that she chose for it. But she won you over with the other one anyway.
Yeah.
Which I've forgotten the name of.
Crisis, CHYSIS, something like that. Yeah. She's such an interesting painter, eh? Like, because she just approaches it so differently to me and then to Dave, and yeah, she's really doing her own thing, and that's quite cool.
And yeah, it looks like she's kind of like changed gears a little bit as well. Like, she's got this like whole monster skill set sort of that she's obviously, you know, and I'm speculating here for the most part, but that she's kind of developed, and then she's been leaning into some of these pretty sort of awesome female characters lately that she's been doing. I think she's doing the African American lady from Pedro Fernando at the moment.
Yeah, which is impressive, by the way. That's painting an African skin tone is just something I'm very, very, very inexperienced at. I've done it and it came out okay, but it's a challenge. What I find really interesting, so Cara, she did a number of sort of, I guess, years of study, if you will, where she just basically painted all varieties of purple, and then went through an orange year where she just painted a whole variety of oranges, you know, and just like learned everything there was to learn about that colour, you know, in a way.
She's got a colour for this year as well.
Yeah, I think she's in the yellow year this year.
Yeah, year of yellow, and just did year of red, was it?
Could have been, yeah.
It's a really interesting way of going about it, isn't it? That's sort of like she's going to take away not just the skill sets of painting, but like this absolute abundance of knowledge about the other things elements that go into it, color theory and also not the chemistry as well. That was, I mean, we obviously had her up on stream at Crimson Brush, where she's talking to us about what is it, Yin Min Blue. Yeah, Yin Min Blue. That's it. Yeah.
Minchin Blue. Come on, mate. It's not Tim Minchin. It's
you know what?
Minchin Orange. Minchin Orange.
It'd be cooler if it was.
Yeah.
But
no, it's always interesting talking to her, because she and I are about as far as you can get on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to, you know, saturated colours, desaturated colours, but we've both tried to dip our toes a little bit back the other way, you know, like she's tried to do stuff that's a little bit more saturated, and I've tried to, you know, pull my stuff back a bit, and it's been interesting seeing the outcomes of that.
yeah, I mean, I really like that for both of you. Like, I mean, for anyone really in an endeavour like this, like challenging yourself and taking a new approach, looking at new ways of doing things is it's one of the best ways to grow. So I'm pretty excited to spend a few months trying to hone the craft in the old French style of painting, the push-pull style of painting.
Vive la France.
Yeah, desaturated sort of tones, but like understanding desaturation, because you could say like Sebastian's a desaturated painter, but like he has so much vibrancy still in what he does. Like this,
Yeah.
he balances it so well.
Yeah.
Like it just rocks my world.
It's interesting, Wes, isn't it? Because you see her stuff in photos and you just think, yeah, she's fine. You know, she's pretty good, but you're not really impressed. That's my take on it anyway. And then you pick up her models in the hand and you're just like, oh my god, there's so much more nuance than her photos are showing here, and there's so much more happening in the figure. And you know, I need to stare at this and look at it and turn it from different angles and really dive in and understand what she's doing and how she's doing it. So. Either she needs to learn how to take better photos or just accept that her stuff is far superior in the hand.
Something we could all do better in that department, the photos. Like it's almost like a whole hobby in itself.
Yeah. Every time I talk to Dave, hey man, I've got to get better in photos. He's like, yeah man, you just need to buy a $1,500 lens. I was like, yeah man, cool. Probably won't do that, eh? Just sweet, good chat. Space Toy, I think we had 106 entries, and there was a 13, 15, something like that, people entered. So a lot of entries per person, but that's normally the case with our events. We're a very small painting community spread across a very large distance, and so we do tend to have a number of people entering heaps of stuff, and this year was no exception. But I was really pleased with the quality of the entries and the number of entries, the number of people that entered, all that stuff. I was really quite pleased with it. So
yeah, I mean, we're yet to find out who won the Trent Dennison Award, aren't we, mate?
It was some guy, Andrew Buckley. Can't remember who that guy was.
Nah, nobody. Hack.
Yeah, Hack.
Yeah,
Some
all
stereo
killer,
painter.
zero killer.
No, you did well, mate. I didn't announce it on the weekend because, as I said, I was very disorganised and there was like 11 people, so I was just having fun with my mates. And yeah.
No, of course, it was good fun.
But no, next.
I just thought I'd rib you about it.
Yeah,
because,
please do. If you're not ribbing me, you're not doing it right. You should be ribbing me all the time. Space Toy, of course the numbers will increase next year. There was a few factors that can combine to minimise our entries. The first was that generally the convention, the CanCon convention, runs over the long weekend, but every few years that the public holiday falls on the 26th. It falls on a day that isn't a Monday or a Friday. It falls on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and so you get this weird 3-day convention that's only 2 of them are actually time off, and so anytime they have that, numbers are down, the convention's smaller, and the third day is usually a bit of a write-off as people are back at work or what have you. So, and then the second issue was that COVID had really just come back with a vengeance in terms of the Omicron strain, and we had shit absolutely blowing up everywhere. There was a period there where I was like, well, fuck, I might not even be able to make it. I'm in massive danger.
Your premier was pretty interested in potentially just shutting the state completely up again.
Yup.
She doesn't fuck around. Yeah. We throw this saying around a lot in here. We don't come to fuck spiders. She definitely doesn't.
She does not. Yeah, she's got no interest in fighters fucking whatsoever.
No.
And
I think that's almost understated how much it was up in the air. How much it was up in the air that the event would even get off the ground.
Yep.
And then combine that with people's own individual situations happening.
Yep.
Which we know sort of lost us, 6 to 7, I think, quality painters who were looking to enter that just couldn't get there. So.
Yep. And that's all fine. I think the most important thing for this year was just having an event and getting people together, as many people as we could, and helping support the convention, and just start the ball rolling, really. G'day, Agim Kadriou. It's an interesting question, mate. I've used a number of brushes. Prior to sort of the last 12, 18 months, I would always recommend Winsor & Newton Series 7, and they were my brush of choice. but I was having a lot of quality control issues with them. And so I recently switched over to Raphael Brushes, and they're a good brush, Raphael 8404. I don't find them quite as good as the best Winsor & Newtons, but I haven't had a quality Winsor & Newton for a while. I think Bucks is on the same, mate. You're on Winsor & Newtons.
I'm on Raphael's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on Raphael's for the exact, almost word for word reason that you are, in that Windsor's lately last little while, you just get some that just, like, their guide hair is too prominent, or they start to just, de-shape a little bit. So I've jumped over to Raphael's as well. And yeah, pretty reasonable result on those ones. But open to use anything. Look, I've had some random brushes. I've had Games Workshop brushes that just go like horses. You know what I mean? I think I had an army painter brush for a little while back that just gave me more than I ever expected from it. It was an $8 brush, and it was a gun. Sometimes you just don't know where it's going to come from. So,
So hopefully,
use the best brush you can.
Hopefully that is a sufficient answer for you, my friend. Illicit Owl, yeah, that's a shame you couldn't make it, mate. It was a good event. It ended up being a really good time. We had, although we had 107 entries, we had a lot of people coming through the hall, and we had a really impressive display stand from Stonebeard. And then another way that I was really happy we were able to reach out and share the convention with people was the streams that we did. So we streamed the judging, and we streamed the first day where we had a good chat to a few people, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I love the reaching out to the community through the stream. I think that's got to be an absolute staple that'll only get better and better and better as we continue to go. And it's no secret that I had a blast coming on and doing some stuff with you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, once again capitalising on Big Deno's popularity. So.
Yeah. 100%. What is it? Follow in the footsteps of your forebears.
There's a saying: if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
So I'm always in the wrong room. Got to find different rooms, mate.
Give the league a call, mate. Call the league. Ask them what's going on.
I don't often spend time in rooms with those guys, so.
I was going to say, you've been slapped with. Is this the mission? Is this Men in Black, mate? And you've just been slapped with. You've been slapped with some rookie. You're like, get me out of here. Get me out of this chicken shit operation.
No, one of my favourite human beings on the planet is actually Dwayne Johnson, the Rock, and one of his mottos is always be the hardest worker in the room, and I just love that. I love that mindset. It's. And one of my, I think I said this story already, but one of my store managers came up to me the other week, and he's like, I've got this motto. I'll always, try and have 10% more energy than the other people in the room. That's, one of my footy coaches told me that, and I always try to live by it. And he said, do you know how fucking hard that is when you're in the room, mate? I said, yeah. Well, not my problem, mate. That's good, Space Story. Yeah, look, the judging, stream was something I was very passionate about delivering. We had a lot of really great entries that I wanted to dive into, talking about with Sebastian, so that first of all, we could provide those entrants with real, genuine feedback about their pieces, because it's rare to get a great opportunity to do that in a convention. I mean, normally, at Monty, for example, you have 1,500 entries and you have, 500 people entering the competition, and there's like 12 judges. The ability for those people to ask advice from the judges and feedback and how do I get better. The judges give up so much of their time as it is, to then be like, well, you now need to spend, the next 3 weeks sending messages to everyone about what they've done and what they could do better. It's a big ask. So by doing it live and online and digitally, that information for all those painters is available now. and it's also informative for other painters and can hopefully give them the same sort of understanding of what we're trying to get people to think about. However, you enjoyed the judging stream, didn't you, Bucks?
And I loved it. Yeah, 100%. And I think that the value that it actually adds to, I think there's like a kind of like a hidden value, and it's like a really cool icebreaker for potential new people to the event. To be able to see, okay, this is the format, this is how I'm going to be judged. Cool. I now know what to expect, and they can go on from there. I think that's an awesome element to it. The feedback's really, really helpful. It's fun to see pieces that stir up a bit of a
controversy.
Controversy. There was a few, I believe, in this year's batch of entries.
Yeah, it was actually we generally agreed a lot more than I won't say the norm, but yeah, previous years we had probably more disagreements. But yeah, and that's a good point, Wes. Right, like having an avenue for people who are a bit shy or a bit worried about talking, particularly with people they might not know. That's another advantage. Those people get exactly the same level of engagement about their pieces as someone who's much more willing to put their hand up and say, hey, tell me how I could be better, and that's an advantage as well. So hopefully, it's inclusive. But the one risk we open ourselves up to is, of course, people not liking the feedback that they're getting. And my first piece of feedback is get a cup of cement up here.
Yeah, tough shit.
Yep.
Like, you entered the competition, these are your judges, you knew that before going in.
Yep.
You're done.
But my second piece of feedback is, you've got to learn how to kill the baby with the bathwater. It's sometimes you've got to take feedback on the chin, and what you think might be the case might not be the case, and yeah, it's difficult, but. What was the feedback that you got about from my specific take on judging rapid transit? What do you think I was most fixated on? Because I haven't really watched it back. I've watched a few specific segments to talk about with people, but I haven't really watched the stream back, so.
I'll fill the gap here while that happens. I quite enjoyed the feedback on anything that Dave did.
Yep.
Specifically because it provokes a conversation about miniature painting with a particular angle and photography based in mind when creating the piece.
Yep.
And then everything else. So in the hand painting we'll just refer to as everything else. And Dave brought a great selection of pieces that were both.
Yep.
And his stuff that was more designed for photography did pretty well, but not as well as in the hand stuff. And that's something for anyone who's prepping for a painting competition needs to think about. And I think you guys highlighted that.
Unless it's an online painting competition, of course.
Unless it's obviously, an online painting competition, sorry. Which you should lean into it further and harder. So rapid transits come back with contrast and light sources, harmony of colour.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with those being things that I'm fixated on. I think contrast and light sources is probably, if you were to look at it at an inexperienced painter versus someone who's much better at painting, it's contrast that always stands out. You're always looking at going, how did you achieve so much contrast, you fucking crazy person? Arnel Lazaro, Mark Mascles.
Yeah. Rodrigo.
Yeah. CHK's latest one is fucking awesome.
I'm gonna have to get a Serge guy.
Fucking no, dog. It's that orc from the Chaos Warrior from the Hera models. It's fucking unreal.
Yeah, he did a class for it, didn't he? I think he just taught a class.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of them that looked great. That's always the measure of a great teacher, when everything coming out of the class looks really good.
Yep. The abstract colour piece, which belongs to this other fucking painter that's on tonight's fucking stream.
Hello, that's me. It's one of mine.
I didn't like it, no. But I think I've given Buck some shit about it in the past, but I was able to actually elaborate on that a little bit on the stream, which is to say that I don't like it because I don't think it's quite achieving its desired outcome. It's close, and that's sort of why I don't like it, because it's close to being something that is really awesome, and it's just falling short. So yeah.
So, for context to the chat, this is my first bust that I painted, and I showed this sheepishly to a bunch of new friends, they would be, when I was just getting involved in our Australian scene, as sort of like hey, this is what I'm thinking and doing, and Greg told me exactly what he felt about it then, but he followed that up very specifically with like what he felt didn't work about it. Now, what he didn't say then, but did say on the stream, was some quite nice things, which were that he felt that he could like it, and that it was just what he just said now, just wasn't quite executing on what it is attempting to be. And so I'd also shown Trent the artist who sort of inspired this sort of trying to take a 2D sort of thing to a 3D.
Now, the reason I didn't give you that positive feedback in the first instance is very simple. Positive feedback can sometimes be a death knell for people's feedback. Like if you just get positive feedback from someone and it's not given in the right way, sometimes that'll be the only thing you hear. You just be like, yeah, Dano said he really liked it. He said some other stuff too, but he just said he really liked it, so I'm on the right track. Whereas if you just give direct constructive, and then my constructive is sometimes a little bit more loose than constructive.
No, I think it was absolutely, like, I valued, like, all of the feedback I got for that piece when I first started, I valued. Because there were some people who just said, hey, I really like this as a creative, like, this is you've sort of put yourself into it, and that's what we really enjoy about it.
Yeah.
Who didn't really focus on technical aspects or what it's trying to do, and you focus more on the technical aspects of the piece and how it didn't achieve the goals that the parameters effectively that I had laid out in doing the piece. So, and then we went through and looked at some other, I guess, what do you want to call them, like fringe pieces, concept pieces.
Yeah.
And some that also failed and some that worked really well. And so, I found that feedback to be really helpful. And I think it will help me. I will attempt to do it again. Maybe I'll bring another one to Crimson Brush next year of something that's a little bit out there. Because that's just a way that I like to get out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that.
Hey, so Space Toy, when you say it's a tad depressing, why is it depressing that someone's given you feedback that's, let's assume the term negative implies constructive, because if it's just, this is shit and you should feel shit, then yeah, ignore that, move on. But if someone's taken the time to give you feedback about your work, even if that feedback makes you feel like shit because you're like, man, I put fucking 50,000 hours into this and people still don't like it.
Land, yeah.
And it's just like, it's one of the most important skills you can get, not just as a painter, but as a human being, is being able to accept critical feedback. If you you can accept that sort of stuff. Yeah, if you can accept when someone's like, hey man, I don't like this and here's why, that will hold you in an amazing stead in the future in your life. Because, yeah, you're never going to please everyone with everything that you do, and that's fine. But if you are learning from why people aren't, resonating with it, or why it hasn't worked for that particular person, then that's not a failed piece. But yeah, that sort of feedback that you've just described there. Cool.
Yeah, that's a bit. It's it.
Well, I can think that, mate. So I manage some retail businesses in my real job. So I'm coaching and developing people, and managing teams and stuff. And we do this weekly review of our customer feedback stuff. And so people get sent a survey. What did you think of the experience? Blah 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 blah. Tell us your thoughts, and they get to provide us with a score out of 10, and then some feedback. And some of the funniest things that you'll ever read is things like, the service was really good, the team was super friendly, loved the experience, had a great time, 6 out of 10. Now, the way the scoring system works is a 6, we consider that a detractor, which is a person who is actively not going to promote your business and is going to tell everyone how shit it was. For us, a person who is a promoter is a 9 or a 10 in the score. Now, that's an arbitrary number, right? But that's still the way that we're scored in this world. And so you'll get this feedback being like, yeah, it was a great experience. Hey, really quick, 5 out of 10. I don't give anyone more than an average score unless they give me free money. And you're just like, okay, yeah, thanks, Wes. It is indeed Net Promoter Score. So it is just an absolute fucking mindfuck, because here's these comments saying this is my experience, and then you get given an arbitrary number that makes you go, well, that's fucked.
Specifically for what you're talking about Golden Demon. Golden Demon is a competition that has some very stringent requirements about what judges are looking for, and you kind of have to lean into that a fair bit.
It's Games Workshop style. If you take
Correct.
a Spanish style piece to Golden Demon, you will not get a medal. Simple as
Correct.
that. You need to be an Andy Wardle, what's that other guy who's just super fucking clean, who just got that Elder, Richard Gray, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Good one,
it's
Wes.
an in the hand competition. It's about rooting your. I mean, what we were talking about earlier with our collaboration,
Yep.
about really thinking about how this exists in the world that we want to set it in. That's a huge component to Golden Demon. So all of those sorts of things.
My point of talking about Net Promoter Score is sometimes you've just got to accept that you can't please a judge. Sometimes people are going to score you a 7 or a 5, even if you've done everything for their experience. Now, my job as a coach is to tell those people, hey, what could we have done to turn that into a 10? We talk about various things, and there's obviously moments during a conversation with a customer or moments during an interaction where we'd probably have an opportunity to take that guy and go, you know what, fuck, that experience has actually made me feel differently about this business, this product or whatever. And we very rarely get those experiences right, but it's a similar mindset, right? Focus on the things that you can change, focus on the things that you can control. A guy saying your piece isn't going to do well at a Golden Demon is a guy saying a piece isn't going to go well at a Golden Demon. Now, what you take from that is up to you. You can go, my work is shit house and I'm fucking rubbish at painting, or you can go, my work doesn't appeal to this specific criteria of judges, but that's okay. And
Exactly.
that's your choice. So.
And then you have a choice after that, which is can I adapt my style and do maybe some 4-point lighting stuff that's more focused around a Games Workshop style of painting for a Games Workshop competition, or you just go, you know what, it's not worth it to me, and I'm just going to keep forging down the path that I'm already on that I like. And
that's a more important question. That's a more important question: is why am I painting? Am I painting because I want to win a Golden Demon? Cool. You're not going to achieve your desired outcome if you continue on the same path. So either revise your goal, come up with a different goal, or accept that that's going to take some changes. But yeah, I find the emotive response, and everyone's entitled to feel however they want to feel, and but you got to also be able to find a way to go, yep, I'll just move on, just forget about that. That's a situation that exists. Move along to a bit of the All-American Rejects and just move along. Move along. Well, there you go, mate. So, fuck the advice and keep painting for fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Does Ansel Eldort actually have a Golden Demon in his bag? I was not aware of that fact. That is an awesome fact.
Who?
He's an actor. He was in what was he in? He was in like The Fault of Our Stars or something, and he was in Divergent. He was the nerdy brother who joined Erudite.
He's snagged a demon. Good on him.
Well, what we need is he has 3. Awesome. What we need is for Henry Cavill to win one, and the world will lose its fucking brain.
Oh, I think they've already lost. Lost their brain.
Baby Driver, yeah, that's a better way of describing him. I forgot about Baby Driver. That's a fun movie. Right back, what is wrong? We move along. Just filling up my water, mate. Be back in a second.
No problem.
G'day, Wavy DL. There you go. You know you can search Big Deno on there. I got a demon.
You can. You know what? I read that White Dwarf when it came out. Hey, so you were a name on a page in that White Dwarf before our paths would ever cross.
He's got a gold. What a champion in Baltimore.
You've got a bronzy, right?
Yeah, I got a bronze. Got a bronzy. Everything's wrong, we move along. Come on, come on, come on. Wipe back what is wrong. We move
I've taken to playing with a 0 point or a 5-0 from 5/0 from Raphael.
Ooh, interesting.
A lot of micro detail. Very small, but you can just get a bit of nuance into some of these textures that are just...
Love a bit of nuanced texture, mate.
Yeah.
How do we go on the bronze, pal?
Yeah, looking good. Do you think it just needs to go slightly higher on the 2 sheens that are
Sparkly bits?
Top?
Yep.
Yeah, top of the head there?
Yep.
Yep, bang, perfect, yeah.
Yep.
I think it needs to just go a little bit higher there, and then it'll have to match on the outside. So, but it's looking good.
Whereas G-Dub did make official busts. They made 3 off the top of my head. They had an Orc bust, which was an Orc warlord. They had a Space Wolf bust, and they had an Imperial Commissar bust. I think those are the only 3 I can remember. Bucks?
That's all 3. Oh, the Space Wolf one's actually just a Space Marine, if I remember correctly, right? It's a generic one.
Yeah.
Most people just paint it as a Space Wolf at the time.
I thought it was a Space Wolf, but yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. And then the only really large-scale thing that was done was a massive Abaddon statue, if you remember, that you could get.
Yep.
Yes.
So I worked for GW from 2001 or 2000 to 2004, and I was mad keen on a lot of the large scale stuff, and that's probably a good indicator as to why I've ended up where I have today. But yeah, they released a game called Inquisitor back then, which was 54mm scale models. Some of my favourite models to this day come out of that range.
Favourite out of that?
Oh, Eisenhorn's probably my favourite.
Choice.
Awesome sculpt, awesome character.
Quite like, was it Inquisitor Covenant, I think he was
Yep,
called? The
yep.
long-haired one with the cannon, the side cannon on his
Yep,
shoulder with
yep.
the big sword. I thought that was really nice.
Oh, awesome, Yab. How good. There's an awesome Space Marine figure who was like 85mm tall and all the others were like 54. He was
Artemis.
Awesome. Yeah, Artemis, the Space Marine.
Yeah.
He was a fucking champion, and he was a beast in the game too. Slick Devlin, he was pretty good. The two guns.
Later on, you got Tirabal
Yeah.
from the Iceborne series. Thraka, Magthrak. What was his name? The Crush Thraka or whatever. The
Yeah.
guy with the two
The
massive
two power fist
power
things.
swords. Yeah,
Yeah.
that everyone would just jack and convert Gaskull in.
Delphin Grass, the tech priest. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
And there was the twins, Severina and Savora.
The Death Code Assassins.
And so I vividly remember this, right, because I was obsessed with it. I was building terrain for the game, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. And then, like, I actually ended up playing the game, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. And then I stopped sort of being obsessed with it, because the game was fine, but I was a fucking 15-year-old kid. I had no idea how to be a role-playing, like, type of dude. But I loved the background of that game, so I was pretty keen on it.
The one that really stands out as well was the female character that had the two massive plaits at the front of her hair that went all the way down.
Ooh, yeah, I can't remember.
And the nobility, the astropath was kind of cool as well.
Yep. Yeah, whereas
and even the Arbite was really cool with the servo dog.
Yep. Yeah. Whereas I'm with you, mate. They seem to be finding that happy medium of this is a model that's got a lot of detail, but not so much that it's just stupid. Where they were going crazy on fucking skulls and doodads and what's it's a little while back, and now it's sort of like just in that sweet spot where they don't have too much detail, but there's enough to make it interesting.
The Eldar stuff, right, recently has got a lot of they're quite sleek and light on extra bits.
Yeah.
Lured me in personally.
Eldar have always been an interesting range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dave's working on a pretty nice piece at the moment.
When isn't Dave working on a nice piece?
Yeah, true.
That fucker. No, he's a great man. Great man indeed.
Yeah, it was really nice to catch up with him at Crimson Brush and shoot the breeze and share the passion.
Share the passion indeed. He's a very passionate guy, and you don't meet too many world-class painters that are willing to just sit down and give you hours and hours of their time. And there's a dude in America. His name's Saint Toad. Rhett Jenkins is his name. If you want to look him up on the Instagram.
Yeah.
He just sent Dave a message out of the blue. He's like, "Oh, Dave, I'm really keen to become a better painter. Hey, you got any advice for me?" And Dave has been messaging the guy non-stop for the last fucking 4 years. Now, Rhett ended up starting alongside a couple other guys, the little group that I'm in, the one that's doing the
league.
Yeah, the league. And obviously Dave got an invite into it, but it's interesting. It probably started as a direct result of Dave just being a nice guy and being willing to share his approach to painting, and just being really generous with his time.
Yeah. I think my invite's still in the mail, mate.
Yeah, it's coming.
That and just a bit of an invite to join this Marvel Marvel Legends little project
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
going on.
yeah. No, we've definitely got some room in that. So you'll be the first to hear when we when. No, I think we're at 32. We're doing 30. There's 32 international painters that are participating in that.
I love the cause. I think it's great. And you know, let's just piggyback onto that. You know, onto that wave.
Okay, let's go. Jane, very good question, and I'm very much a fan of talking about contrast paints because I love them. Elusive Goose, thanks for following. I think if I was to name 5, I would be able to give you 5 that I think you must have. The first is Snakebite Leather. It's just a fantastic colour for leather, fantastic colour for adding richness and rusty sort of effects and all sorts of stuff. So Snakebite Leather would be the number 1 that I would be pushing people to get. The second, Achillean Green. I really like Achillean Green. It's a dark greeny blue, really nice for rich like earth tones. I like that. Nasdreg Yellow, punchy, powerful yellow, really good for doing golds. 10 out of 10 for that colour. And then I probably like Volupus Pink, but if you wanted to not get as wanky as me, you'd probably go for Flesh Terror's Red. But one of those 2 pinks or reds, and then probably
Griff Charger Grey. It's got to get in there, doesn't it?
Griff Charger Grey or Warp Lightning Green or Iandan Yellow or the orange, Griffhound Orange.
Griffhound Orange has become my absolute go-to at the moment.
Yeah.
Griffhound Orange and Nasdreg Yellow is like instant gold contrast.
Yup.
Yeah.
So that would be that, yeah. So Snakebite Leather, Achillean Green, Volupus Pink, Griff Charger Grey, Iandan Yellow would be my must-haves. It happened exactly as I thought it would be. You know what I mean about this fucking model. Like, I knew as soon as I was like, I hate this model. I'm not painting it. It's going to suck. I hate it. It's going to be the worst model.
Best one so far.
It's the most fun. It's the most fun to paint. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's just fucking mad. He's just got all these big things. Thanks, Yab. You're a champion. Like, it's just been so good.
Yeah, no problems, Jab.
Oh,
Yeah.
CHK!
Oh, my hero.
The guy.
Yeah.
Tony, you're a wonderful man. What are you doing, you superstar? What are you up to right now? What were you painting, you fucking jet? Tiwaz, Vidalay, g'day friends. Welcome. Let me give you, for the new people just joining, I'm working on a diorama. Hello, Jose Gutierrez. Or Gutierrez. Yeah, I'm working on a diorama. It's a bit of a... Thank you, Coldil. It's a very big, silly diorama that I'm working on. This is what it looks like at the moment, sort of. Hola, friends. Buenos dias. This is my diorama that I'm working on. And so there's a lot of models on there, and all of the models from the recent Kickstarter from Ultima Thule, from Chimera and Aradia is what I'm working on. So I'll give you a little rundown of some of the models that I've done so far, because I've got them all here, sort of. This is up here. It's gonna take a while. So yeah, so this is this chick. She's leaping. So nothing's finished, right? We're all at various stages of completion. Just really trying to establish some values. G'day Jan, and some some concepts about the light sources, where I need to add, environmental colours, that sort of stuff. So yeah, this is the chick. She's jumping down and fighting this guy. She's sort of like jumping down on him like this. Whee! So those two go together. So we've got to tie them together somehow. So that's one. I'm working on this dude. Oops, sorry for bumping the camera. Working on this dude who's the hellhound. So this is like a weird orc thing that's riding the hellhound. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and do lava, like some lava skin on this guy. Maybe, we'll see. But he's at the front, so he's going to be one I'm going to probably spend a little bit of time on, just making sure he's really absolutely popping. So yeah, that's that one. Run out of room, Bucks. Run out of room. Here's the actual diorama, by the way. It's as big as my head. This is the size of it. And I've done the lava.
Pizza with Dano.
Totally normal and not crazy projects at all. This big bopper is actually the best one I've painted so far. I love him. He's awesome. Yeah, he's mad. So he's not finished, of course. None of them are finished yet. But just again, establishing the light sources, getting all of the placement right, making sure that they're interesting to look at, that sort of stuff. So
this one's in mid-process of about to be showed up, really, by the other big lad.
G'day, Joel Paul. This chick I did on Monday night stream, and she's been a challenge trying to get the colour palette right to look like she's facing off against this guy in a cold environment, but not getting lost in this stage, so in this model. So, and then I've got this chick who's also work in progress. So that's where I'm at. I've got a lot of work ahead, so stay tuned for the next week when I finish it all. No. Oh, and Araman's here. He fell off his thing. So he's the first model I did, and he's now probably going to end up being one of the worst.
I really like him. I think he's fitting nicely.
We'll see. So that's what I'm doing, friends. Thank you, CHK. You're amazing. Did you see Thor Ragnarok? Was that for the first time? I love that movie. It's so good.
Yeah, everything about the junk world's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum, of course.
Jeff Goldblum is just everything. Full stop. So welcome, friends. Thanks for joining. And this is my friend Andrew Buckley, who is Andy Bucks Art on Instagram, who you should all follow. Pop your thing in the chat. Haha. Thanks, CHK. My friend from Melbourne.
Yo.
Another Australian painter. Recently won some golds at the Crimson Brush. What are you working on, Tony? Hey, absolutely fuck. We were talking about your little barbarian dude from your class just before. I love it, man. Looks awesome. Yes, Andy's very good. He's also a big fan of yours, CHK.
I am. I very much like the style.
I took your Northern Wind down to the competition we had recently and showed it off to everyone, and Bucks tried to steal it.
I did.
Don't worry
I'll
about
have to, definitely. Well, I mean, I was saying it earlier in the stream as well. I sort of got a bit of a bit of a penchant for collecting people's works and would love to own something from CHK at some point. We'll have to make that happen.
Mate, it's my pleasure. Dave being there was a big reason for me bringing him down, because he and I have been talking about it for a while, and he really wanted to see some of the works. He hasn't had an opportunity to travel much, so I was like, yeah, I'll bring as many down for you as I can. So yeah, it was cool that he got to see him, and yeah, he's a massive fan.
I feel like I could just keep going on this one spot forever, so I'm just gonna
Call it.
put a few dots in, call it, and get on to painting some silver, some steel, I should say.
Always believe in gold.
Just quietly, by the way, sitting on a casual 30k points. So, what happens at 100?
If you,
what do I get for the? Because I don't want to do it for myself. I want to do it for the chat. You know, what do we get for 100k?
CSCHK, you're a legend. What can we give out for 100k? If anyone gets 100k points, what can we give them? Maybe I should give them a model. Send them a model.
A model could be good. There's probably, to be honest, there's probably already a few people floating around on 100k. I reckon. So 100k might be too easy for a model.
100k.
Yeah.
No way.
I've racked up 30k pretty easily. Like, think about how many songs
you have got some songs out of me, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got a lot of free songs actually, just by being quite similar to like painting to your audience or to your competition, like just picking songs that I know you want to sing.
Look at these guys, 25, 32, 40k, just people like, sweet.
Yeah, there you go, 40k on broadside. Yeah, so 100k, maybe 200k gets you a model.
Yeah. Possibly. I've given away quite a few models. I gave away heaps last year. It was fun.
Yeah, you were doing one a month, right?
Yeah.
Did you end up giving away the Roman bust, the tribute?
I sold it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's go.
Reach for that Pizarski special, eh?
Oof. Yeah, well, just vibe off my approach, mate. This is what you can do with a couple of hours, the Pizarski paints, and an airbrush, mate. It's just magic.
A little bit of morning sky. Do you like to start with morning sky mixed with a little bit of black as well, or do you go pretty raw? You raw dog it.
Raw. I'm quite partial to a raw dog, but no, I do mix in a bit of black. Okay, let's go. All right, so I just gotta keep these lights. The orange wizard I do still have, yes, but the others are all gone. The blue chaos lady belongs to another friend of the show who is also on video right now.
Hey, that is mine, and it's in my collection. I started my collection with that.
Okay.
First one. So.
But I do still have the orange wizard. He's quite excellent, actually. Got no fucking respect on the socials. Just got no love whatsoever. Oh yeah.
That's what you get for painting all of the back, mate.
Yeah, Wes was like, "Wow, your photos are terrible, Dino." When he saw my models in the flesh, didn't you, mate? Can do. I'm pretty sure you did, mate. It might have been me that said it. It might have been me that said it, mate. I might have said, yeah, this is way better in the photos, eh? And you were like, I didn't say that. And then I was like, yeah, man, because I like talking. People just listen.
It's how polite Dave is. I'm like, look, Dave, I can't take a photo to save myself. Hey, you gotta help me out with some of these things. And he's like, oh, they're not too bad, mate. And then he sends a message to Benny when we get back, going, geez, man, Andy's photos do no justice to his models. Yeah. Trash. I find it so hard, hey. Also, know nothing. Probably need to go and gain some knowledge. So.
Maybe I should do a stream on it. I mean, I'm certainly, no expert at taking photos, but I've got some good photos, and I know where I'm going wrong. I haven't spent the time because I just want to paint soldiers. I don't want to fuck around with taking photos of my models,
Yeah. I know often, it's not about getting the best equipment, but I've got to make an upgrade. Rolling a Samsung 8 Plus for all your photos, probably not. No, not it,
Yeah, that's a Barry Crocker.
Yeah. Speaking of socials and photos, I think once this is done, we can call it.
Yeah.
Flat time on this guy.
Okay, let's go. Wes, don't put yourself down like that, mate. Your photos are pretty good. Your models are pretty good. We had a good, robust discussion about your Limbo miniature, Godfrey.
I feel like that's a very challenging miniature to paint.
Oh yeah, it's fucking shocker. Yeah, you did a good job with it, so. Thank you, mate. Yes, the bronze has come out alright. We've managed to, as always, paint bravely. And it's come out successfully-ish.
Yeah, send us a video, Wes. Absolutely. We'll take a look, bring it up.
Will we, Bucks?
Yeah, we will.
Fucking beautiful. Good work, us. of course we will. We love Wes.
We do. It's the least you can do. He bought me dinner, mate, you know?
Dude, what a specimen. What a top play.
Listen to me ramble on about the history of Australian Golden Demon for a good hour, I think.
Alright, I think I'm going to call the non-metallic metal done for a bit so I can do some other bits. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Overall.
What else is there to do that isn't non-metal metallic on this?
Well, I do have to do the shield, I
face,
suppose.
doesn't it?
I do
Yeah,
the shield
yeah.
and the face, but yeah, I suppose the shield and this axe thing.
Yeah.
Alright, Wes, have you sent me a Discord thing? Oh, well, alright. Well, let's have a little bo peep into this fucking thing.
Interested to see if we see a little Caldwell influence coming through.
This is just my my Discord, the Dirty Paint Water In. Topulus is doing the Gold Smoke Night. I think his gold is looking a little bit too old, personally. See, his car is...
Nothing a little bit of contrast wouldn't fix.
You got it. Yeah, that's a really nice
Yeah.
skin tone. Love it. She's got her moon back there, which is cool. Bunny's moon. Fuck, I love this. Love this so much. Whoever came up with that idea just crushed it. I like
Yeah,
this
she did.
idea, Wes. I like this idea. It's very cool.
Are these both Nekos?
Yeah, yep, you can tell because they're both pink.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of Jim's bases too. Oh, Bunny's Windrider. Love it. Oh, Necromancer's doing a bust. I like that guy's painting, eh? It's
You
pretty
do.
good.
Yeah, I remember you were quite fond of a piece he did.
Yeah, he did that Shale Limbo Miniatures one.
Yeah.
It was good.
I don't think he got to do as much painting over his as his summer because I think he had his kids with him. He was saying a bit, so he's just been getting back into the swing of painting,
Case.
which is always good to see. Bunny's just uploaded something else
Oh, is she?
into finished projects.
Oh, cool. Here we go. Oh, this might be Windrider.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Bundog. Okay, let's go. Alright. I just... So I've painted this model right. It's a fucking tough model to paint. Like, it is a fucking tough model. So... just interact. Yeah, I like the placement of the lights here, particularly on the robes. Like, it's a very challenging surface to do traditionally. So I think this like sort of sweeping aesthetic style that looks cool is the right way to do it. But it's tricky to work out that. But yeah, this is
I loved her color choice for it.
yeah. The eyes are
I
great.
sense what you've nailed inadvertently. You've picked up on a color that a lot of historical painters use for red. This kind of worn, sort of peachy red.
Yeah.
But
So
it just works so well for this.
I haven't
piece,
seen
doesn't it?
this. I haven't seen this movie that she's talking about, right? But these are
Spirited
apparently,
Away.
these are apparently little characters from it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And there's a lot happening with using the same color from the cloak through the nose and the brow.
Yeah. Works really well.
Really smart choice, bud.
And I think
Killing it.
I think the circular shape around the outside, it could detract and distract from the piece, but they're all cold colours, right? And so it sort of just fades away into the background a little bit. And because you've also got that orange around the outside, in between the flowers and then the Windrider head, you sort of have that really clear separation, and I find it still works really well.
Yeah,
and
what do you think of the eyes? The choice of colour for the eyes?
Yeah, green's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I would never have done it. G'day, Token Princess. I would never have painted the model like this because I don't know anything about the character and what have you. But yeah, I think it's cool to see a different interpretation. I should grab mine out.
She's moving from strength to strength this year. She's had two crackers so far, and is working a pretty intense project on the go as well. It's great to see.
Okay, let's go.
Very proud.
Alright, my Windrider. Boo, boo, boo. Fuck, I've got to stop doing this where I'm like, yeah, I'll just scroll back fucking 19 fucking days. Token Princess, 10-inch models. You want to look up garage kits. So garage kits is generally those sorts of figures. I don't know any specifics actually, but any specific ones, but yeah, I'm sure there's some good ones. Here's my Windrider. Well, that's a bit big, don't it?
Yes. Two completely different takes on it. Two awesome takes on it. I very much love your dragon. And the vibrancy of the cloak. I know you give your freehand a bit of a crack, and it's probably like that classic sort of shoot for the stars, land in the clouds with it. But I don't know, man. I think it's pretty much a hit. What elements did you enjoy painting the most versus?
Well, yeah, it's a tricky one because I enjoyed all sorts of elements, but then I didn't really feel like it felt like it worked together, and I thought the freehand was, I was trying to do something. I was trying to push myself, right? And the symbol that I did was cool, but it was just too big, like just out of scale. And I think that let the piece down as opposed to added to the piece. So, but yeah, I mean overall it's pretty cool. I like the eyes. The eyes were cool.
Well, I mean, we very rarely get to play with eyes that big. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a place you can really just get crazy, like you can put a ton of nuance into there. And I mean, you could, if you really want to go ham, you can paint all of the little styrations in the eye and all that sort of stuff. So it's a cool piece. I've only seen 3 of them done so far.
Indeed.
All different takes.
I think we might wrap up the stream there, my friends, because I'm about done on this guy done with all I want to do anyway for tonight. It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
What a song.
Yeah, I mean, I think the green sort of underglow is working okay. The bronze is looking fine. I might just paint his face in red, actually.
There's a bit of it's quite like there's some desaturated elements to this that I like, man. I think the green and the blue. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm for a figure that I was very much disinterested in painting. It's come out okay. Just give it a crack, and it's come out pretty cool. Can't really go wrong, mate. Just get stuck in.
No.
Do you reckon he's supposed to be a dwarf, or do you reckon he's supposed to be like
No,
a
he's
giant?
he's like a Reinhardt style character, I think.
Yeah.
The reason why he feels dwarvish is because they made his weapons super stumpy.
Yeah. They are.
But, you know, they could turn around tomorrow and be like, yeah, he's absolutely a dwarf. And I'd go, yeah, that makes sense.
So whereas the biggest issue with the diorama is these two and the bear, the dude who rides the bear is like a half the size of every other human on the fucking thing. So the bear rider's a pygmy, this guy's a dwarf, and then the other fucking guy is just like a mutated dude. I don't know. They're all out of scale. But
The thing I look at the Orky one.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
No, not that one. The oh damn, I fucking got to resculpt his fucking mustache. Didn't even realise that. I might not do that because this is the fucking back of the fucking diorama.
No, he wouldn't need a mustache for his sculpt, would he?
So he's got little prongs that come down over his head, and I decided not to put them on, like I didn't like them. But one of the mustaches wraps around one of the prongs on the sculpt, which is actually awesome, but fuck you guys.
Before we go, I'm going to chuck the link for Wes's into the chat, and we'll give it a bit of a look.
Oh, Wes, we're going, are we? Alright, hang
Okay,
on.
no idea how the audio is going to be.
Oh, Wes.
But the idea for this was to have campfire in the lower left and moonlight on the upper right, which is why there's a dark area sort of at a diagonal down her face. I think the trouble I've run into is knowing how to render in the shadows effectively. I wasn't sure if I should paint it sort of normally and then airbrush in the lights, or if I need to render in that shadow from the very beginning. So I painted it pretty much ordinarily from the beginning, but then started adding lights from this angle with the whites, and then started adding shadows where no light would hit from sort of this angle or that angle. So how to move forward from here I'm not entirely clear on, but I figured I'd come back to it after I had a bit of a break on the New Galaxy stuff. Okay, no idea how the audio is going to be.
Alright, we'll pause that.
Yeah.
Good. Alright, did you get all that?
Yeah, got a chunk of it.
So I'm going to draw a little face here. There's two ways you can approach OSL, right? One is paint everything normally and then go in and add the light afterwards. That's what most people do, especially when they've got an airbrush, right? It feels like the easy way to do it. You'll usually get caught out like that because what you have usually, I'm going to use a blue here on this. So what you'll have usually, so if you've got a light coming from below and a light coming from above that are different colours, and using moonlight and camp light as the example, so you tend to have an actual area of separation of those elements, right, which will come in like this sort of position. And then you'll have your campfire here, which will be, lit like this and like this and like this, and probably under here, and a little bit of cheekiness there, and what have you. And this will be like this. But before you go into moonlight and the highlights on the moonlight, there is a line of dark, right, that separates the two. So if you don't have this dark line here, 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 and yeah, to sort of some extent probably sort of here-ish as well, before you move into highlighting these elements, and what you'll get is an effect that doesn't quite read correctly. So the problem with the airbrush is you just go like this, right? You go psh, 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 and it hits all of these spots, and it sort of gets it in the right spot, but it covers over everything, and you just go from orange into blue straight away. And so you can do that, but you just then need to come back in and just go, you know, this separation line, you know, this separation line, and you actually need to be pretty dark with that separation to sell the illusion of what you're trying to sell. You've given yourself a nice complex lighting challenge, and I think I actually have one that might. Has that been on the fucking screen the whole time? No, it hasn't.
What?
Fuck, I was just like, I was Discord. I was like, oh my god.
No.
Yeah. I think I have it on my Instagram. Accessible. Let's see. This is one I did a fair while back, but
I was going to say you could probably use my latest piece even as a sort of not quite getting it right. My kabuki mask one.
oh yeah, I like the kabuki mask. It's pretty good. Yeah, she's not quite right. Fuck me, I forget how many models I've painted. I was just like, yeah, I just did that the other day. I'm like 3 years ago. I still haven't reached it. Come on, Dad. Come on, mate. Fuck.
Get the old iron hue out.
Oof, love a bit of iron here. Alright, surely I'm almost there now. Surely. He's pretty good. The dwarf. Fuck me. Alright, this is a good example. Yeah, alright, I'll show you this one. This one's not perfect, but not that one. That one. So this is a piece I did 136 weeks ago, so over 2 years ago. But it's an example of like object source lighting, and if you look at the legs, legs are a great area to look at because it's a cylinder, right? And so you've got the light, and then you've got a line of dark before you move into the highlight. And doing it with the airbrush, you don't get that separation of the dark. The butt cheeks, another good example. That's a perfect example there. So you can see there's the red light, then there's the dark line, and then there's the natural light lighting it from above. So it changes based on the intensity of the light, based on, you know, the object in question. Yeah, lots of things that will change that, but that's a pretty good model, Bucks. You've seen that one? It's pretty good.
Yeah. This one featured on your interview with Vince. You had this on there, I believe.
It did too, yes.
Yeah. Did you compete with it? Or was it just a...
No. Might have done it QMHE. It was a limbo piece, buddy. You're bang on. Here's the one I was looking for. Huzzah. So this one was my first paint job back after about fucking 6 months of having a break. and it's a great figure, Candy Chan. So yeah, it's just to have that light source, you need to have the dark to create a separation of the two elements. Now, with your piece, yeah, I think you're trying probably to go about it slightly backwards. You're like, I'm going to paint it all and then add the light in. I think if you start by sketching out, this is where I want my highlight for the orange, this is where I want my highlight for the moonlight, this is where I want, you know, the natural sort of colours to be, and then make sure you have those lines, even if it's not refined, you'll get a better understanding of the light, and then you'll be able to start to think, okay, well, you know, this doesn't look right because the light's not hitting in the right spot, you know, need to change X, Y, Z, you know, whatever it is. So yeah, so when I finish her off, yeah, fuck, that's a good paint job, don't I? Do a good job with her, pal.
You did. I like that. I really like the high reflective white metal almost on the gauntlet.
Hey, look at the signature at the back. Just add a little bit of pink and blue.
Oh, nice.
Okay, let's go.
Very artistic.
Very wanky, eh? I love it.
Yeah. You know, I like a bit of it.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, let's go.
That's like doing the little dude on your Radagundus and the bile spill, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So Wes, have a crack, like, yeah, and if you get it wrong, sweet mate, it's fun, good experience. Keep trying. I mean, I think this was my first attempt at like that really aggressive different light sources, and I think if you look at some angles, like, looks pretty good from this angle. Not as good from that angle, right? Doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, or like the light looks wrong. And sometimes that's just not possible, right? Because the light itself needs to look right from a certain angle. It can never look right from a different angle because the light's not reacting the correct way. You know, she looks good from that angle, but that one looks a little bit off. So yeah, anyway, I've been gibbering for a lot, friends. Let's go find some grand person we can raid for tonight. Who should we raid? Indeed, mate, indeed. Good attitude. So we raided Tiny Warrior's studio the other night. He's got a quote from Bruce Lee on his tagline. Be formless, shapeless like water. Be like water. What's he painting? No, he's playing some shit game. Don't fucking play games. I want to look at your little toy soldier painting, dickhead. Says the guy who's fucking just cranking on Spirit Island on the regs. What a champion.
How'd you and Whaley go the other night?
Yeah, no, it was alright. Yeah, the app's actually only just added multiplayer and there's a few glitches, so we actually glitched out. We couldn't finish it, but we were gonna dominate. Oh yeah, what did you think, Wes? Very procedural, very maths based. We raided Esmeralda the other night. What do we got? What do we got for Troll Trader? I don't think I've seen this guy before. Let's have a look at that chap. And Jesus Gomez is on. We should raid Jesus.
Let's do it.
Yeah, he's a good bloke. He's not really much of an English speaker, friends, but he is an excellent painter. So yeah, it's a really good game, and it planned, like, the better you get at it, the more information you absolutely know, the easier the game feels, which is why they create difficulty levels in there to make it harder, because it is actually, it gets to a point where it's too easy, Like I cannot play at a base level now because I smash the game. Like I don't even come close to losing. But I remember when I first started playing it, I was like, oh my god, how do you win this game? It's so hard. Yeah, Troll Trader, you are done. We're going to raid Jesus. Okay, let's go. All right, friends. Well, look, thanks for joining us tonight, Bucks. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, always. As long as the chat had a good time and you had a good time, we all had a good time. Great stuff.
Indeed, and we'll do it again, mate. We might make this a regular thing because I figured out how to do it, and I'm an excellent fucking streamer. So
let's do it.
Good work, Big Dano.
Probably a few other guests to call upon as well.
Indeed.
Very tight stream. Fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you, friends. Back on Sunday morning, so feel free to join me then, which will be Saturday night for most of the Americans and middle of the night for the Europeans. But otherwise, grandiose, friends. Toodaloo. See you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.